check this out. I made a new thing. Hello. Look at that. We have the chat and we have video. Live video with live reflections that I can jump around in and everything. Fancy, right? Pretty fancy. I'm pretty happy with that. Because that was tricky to set up. So that's fun. I'm not really liking the way the chat looks, but it was the only thing that was kind of readable in this format. I don't know, all the chat options that they have are kind of not pretty. I want to see if I can make like a custom chat, maybe. But, welcome everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to Game of Thrones spoilers. If you didn't get that already, spoilers, obviously, because it's going to be talking about the ending of Game of Thrones, or the last season of Game of Thrones. So, you know. You like the choice of shirt? Yeah, I chose it deliberately, apropos, because that's the basically you can sum up the last season of Game of Thrones with that. You know, so I figure that works. That works for the theme, right? Anyway, let's see if where would I go? Discord? Let's see if we can get like get Sean on. Is he on still already? Hang on. So we're gonna try out this squad stream thing, right? But I don't really know how that works. Do I just invite him? Hang on. I'm gonna call him on Discord. Don don da da don don da da don don. I'm waiting. He's writing something. I'm waiting for it. His playback audio is broken, but regular voice is fine for some reason. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna call. Do you think he's ready? He's having sound issues. Oh, really?
Hi.
Hi, are you having sound issues, really?
Yeah, let me see.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, on my stream, you sound like a fucking robot.
Oh, really? Do I sound like a robot to chat? Chat, do I sound like a robot?
Or to them, you do. On my end.
Oh, on your end, but not on my end? Weird.
No, and it's fine on my end, like, listening, but for some reason, the Go XLR is fucking up everything.
Oh, no. Is it all of your computer audio or just chat audio for some?
All of computer audio for some reason.
All of computer audio?
Everything that's not my mic, everything that's coming out of the broadcast stream mix is all fucked.
Weird. I sound good according to my chat, so okay. Huh.
Oh, good for you.
Well, I mean, at least it's not my mic messing up, I mean.
No. It's fine. It's just something on my end. And it's fine outside of stream.
Okay, good. Weird. I mean, not good. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what to change.
Do you want to restart your computer?
Yeah, I'll think about that.
Okay,
I'll be back,
how long are you going to
everybody.
think about it, though?
As long as it takes to restart it.
Okay. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye. So thank you, everybody, for joining the stream. It was nice, and I'll see you all next time, everybody, okay? Goodbye. Goodbye. It's been fun. Okay, maybe we'll do a little bit longer. We'll give him a second chance. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back. Don't you? Isn't this nice? Look at I'm actually really happy with this because look at the reflections underneath the video playback on the stream. If I skip through, it's maybe it'll show up a little bit better. It's actually getting more and more blurry the further away the reflections go from the actual from the actual video. I'm pretty happy with that because that was a little bit tricky, but I like it. It's fancy. Very fancy. And maybe we'll get around copyright as well. I'm not going to play the whole episode, but I wanted it up for like visual aid, just so we can skip through and sort of look at some of the potential scenes in it. Because why not? Anyway, fancy reflections. I know, right? It's pretty fancy. Very fancy. OBS has done this thing nowadays where you can make a scene in OBS and then you can configure everything the way you want it, and then you can add that whole scene into another scene. So all of the chat and the video and the reflections and everything is just a whole own scene on its own that I've just imported onto my camera. It's very cool. I like that a lot. Anyway, welcome everybody. How you doing? Where did I get my shirt? Where did I get my shirt? Probably New Yorker. Probably New Yorker. That's where I get most of my clothes. I'm going to say New Yorker. New Yorker, yeah. Because I basically only ever buy clothes at New Yorker and H&M. And this, I don't think this was H&M, so I'm going to say New Yorker. Anyway. Yep. You haven't watched Game of Thrones, you're probably lost. Okay, listen, I'm going to just say this right first, just to get this over with. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones and you don't know what's been being discussed or being talked about, you don't have to say that all the time. I get it. Not everyone has watched the show. But you don't have to complain about not understanding things if you go to a Game of Thrones stream. Okay? Just saying. Because I see that all the time, a lot. It's like, I don't know what's happening. I don't watch Game of Thrones. Does anyone else not watch Game of Thrones? I don't like Game of Thrones. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. But anyway, we're gonna just, I as I was watching the episode, I took down some notes of scenes that I want to discuss because they were so dumb. And also, I was watching some other videos to get some ideas as well. So I have that written down. I'm prepared, yo. Yeah. So it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be cathartic. I really just want to talk about things and discuss it a little bit because it's a lot of strange decisions. Obviously, not everything is bad, but there's a lot of strange things that's happened. And I figured, it'd be a better way to do it like this than just make another video on it as well. Just so you can have a bit of a back and forth. Why not? Do. We should squad stream. We're gonna try, but we can't do that until he's back.
I think it works.
He's back. Hello.
Wait, let me hear.
Are you back? Can you hear
Fuck
me now?
Yeah!
Aw, shit. Just a normal, good old-fashioned restart, and it works.
We did it, chat. Thanks, chat.
Hooray. Thanks, chat. Thanks, chat.
Okay, good, because it's one of those things where it's like everything is the same, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, right. It's always fun. It's always fun when stuff just doesn't work the way it should.
I love technology.
It's the theme of the stream. Because it's the same with Game of Thrones.
My stream season 8'd it.
Yep. It was just trying to keep up.
We got gotted.
Okay, everything is a little bit loud. There you go.
Okay. I'm very loud. It's peaking on my end as well, because I'm a loud boy.
Oh no, it was my music. I have music also. I have the Game of Thrones soundtrack going on in the background.
But you get copyright.
Well, yeah, but it's really quiet.
Oh.
And also, fine.
I need to do a Tweety.
Oh,
bird.
Yeah. Are you live yet?
Yep.
Oh.
So everything you just said, everybody knows now.
Shit. Well, I'm live also. I'm gonna try to add you to the squad thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that as well.
Add invite sent. Did you get it?
Oh, you're a squad leader. Waiting
Hell
for squad
yeah.
leader. You have to start squad stream. Oh, this is so exciting.
Oh, I did it. Oh, that's how
Yay.
it works. So you just get like a normal link /squad at the end. Oh, interesting.
Okay, so chat, I'm going to post this a bunch of times. This is the squad link, so you can see both of us at the same time.
Okay, I'm going to post that as well.
So mods, you can take that and use it as you please.
There you go.
Cool beans!
I don't even know how that looks. I'm going to click it myself. What is this? What does this actually look like?
Risky business. I clicked it and nothing happened.
Oh, okay. It's basically just like multi-stream used to be.
Oh, I'm looking at both of us right now. Oh, I don't like it. It's like we're looking at each other.
Yeah. Oh, we're perfectly positioned. Hello.
Hi.
Look at my fancy video feed and everything.
I know. All I've got is my stupid fucking face.
Yeah, right. Sucks. really bad.
Well, I'm a tag along. This is your idea.
That's true. You're the guest, I suppose. Welcome to the internet, Sean William Bethany McLaughlin.
That is my real full name.
It is.
Only my dad calls me that.
That's why I did. Did I not tell you? I am your dad.
I am your father.
Ooh.
Anyway,
No, you're not.
Oh,
No, you're not.
we have the same buttons. We can annoy everyone together.
Yeah, I had somebody recently message me being like, just to let you know that your reverb, whenever you do it live, sounds like absolute garbage, and you should like take 5 minutes to make it better. I'm like, I don't care.
Aw. Wait, what is your reverb?
I don't fucking know. I don't even know if I have a... Hello? That's not reverb.
Oh, it is kind of.
It was... Oh, wait. Hello!
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good.
it's a reverb. It does what it's supposed to do. It reverbs.
All I need it for is, you're going on a board! And that's it.
Yeah, why not? It works. Okay, people are saying, Sean is lagged? Multistream have lag? Oh,
multi-stream, yeah. Multi-stream isn't perfect
Oh,
for
really?
both. You kind of have to pick who you want to listen to, I think.
Oh.
Because
really?
I think, unless people are doing it at the exact same bit rate and the exact same latency on the exact same servers,
Oh.
I don't know if it actually works perfectly.
Well, you mean lag or you mean latency?
Yeah, latency.
Okay, that's different than lag.
Yeah, so our voices aren't matched up on multi-stream. You can't play both audios at the same time.
You're going to have to choose one audio, yeah.
Yeah.
But as long as the video works, then it should be fine, right?
Yeah. And the reason we're doing squad stream, well, because we can, but also because Robin's going to have visual aids.
I do, yeah. I have AIDS.
Robin's going to have AIDS. AIDS.
Okay, I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Okay. Do you have any points that you wanna address first before we actually start talking about the episode?
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Okay, good. So we're gonna go over all of Game of Thrones from episode 1.
Season 1, episode 1. White Walkers.
Yes.
I wrote down some things for the last episode and kind of just general musings, but I don't know. Where do you just get filled in? Where do you jump into it?
That's true. I mean, as I was watching the episode, I just wrote down linear points, and I also have a couple of ones on the back burner because I was watching other people do videos on it, and also all of the spoilers. Because so as a general as a general caveat, I guess before episode 4, 5, and 6 came out, spoilers leaked for episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
And none of us looked at them or heard any of them, as far as I'm aware. You didn't, right?
No, and apparently the script leaked like 8 months prior to that, but they just resurfaced because it was coming out again.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and as soon as the spoilers, apparently, as soon as the leak started to match up with the first 2 episodes, apparently people started posting them again.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
to be like, wait, this is real?
Yeah, because when I was watching, ever since episode 3, when I was doing my video on The Long Night, I didn't actually I refrained from watching anyone else's videos on it because I didn't want to accidentally steal ideas or get influenced. But then I was binging everyone else's sort of take on Game of Thrones type of videos.
Yeah.
And apparently the spoilers, people are saying, the spoilers are lining up. Episode 4 and 5 confirmed the spoilers are all true. And at that point, after episode 5, when Dany just burned the whole city down, I just didn't care anymore. So I was listening to a podcast and they said, okay, warning, 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 we're going to do the spoilers now. And I just listened to it anyway. And all the spoilers for the last episode were accurate.
Oof.
So going into it, I knew the main points. Basically, I knew that Jon was going to stab Dany, and I knew that Bran was going to end up being king. So I'm curious what your reaction was when you didn't know those things. Did you see it coming?
I mean, no, but I also joked so heavily about it because me and Evelyn were watching it.
Yeah.
And so many of the things that I joked about being the worst possible solution to everything ended up happening.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody posted a thing talking about what requires a good king by Tywin back when he was talking after Joffrey died.
Yeah.
And he was saying, it's not power, it's not justice, it's whatever. He said wisdom is the most important thing. And I turned to Gab and I was like, what if Bran ends up being king? Because he has all the wisdom.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no fucking way they'll do that. That makes no sense. And then I was like, for the longest time, even me and you said it, that Dany's probably going to die and she's going to go mad because they keep hinting at it and everything. But I didn't think it was going to happen the way it happened. And I was like, okay.
Well, also, this is a very apropos face on Tyrion on my stream right now. I liked it. No, the whole point of Dany going mad in general, like as a general concept, I'm completely fine with that because they have been hinting at that for like the longest time. And she's been, you can see that she's been wanting to use violence before being convinced otherwise more often than not.
She was being held back all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And if Dany had in the previous episode, if Dany, when the bells rung, if she had then, as they say, snapped, quote unquote, snapped, as they call it. Because I was thinking when I was watching that episode that she was going to snap and fly to the Red Keep and just burn that down with Cersei in it and just take everyone there out.
Yeah.
So that Cersei, yes, but also all of the civilians in the Red Keep would just die.
Yeah.
But then she just, and that I would have been okay with. That I would have been like, okay, I can see the foreshadowing for that. But starting to systematically mow the lawn of King's Landing, like going back and forth, burning.
It made
everybody.
No sense for her to do it that way.
Not at all.
She was just going like street by street, like fucking city skyline style, just so blasting everything down.
It's so weird. And so going into this episode, then I was like, okay, well, obviously now, how they're going to handle this, they have to make, because I thought that Dany was going to be upset or like ashamed or sad, but she was gonna justify it. Like she was gonna run up to Jon and was like, I did it, I killed everybody, but I had to do it. Oh, I'm so sad that everyone had to die, but it was necessary means to an end and blah blah blah. But don't you see, Jon? Everyone has to die for us to make a better world and yada yada. But no, she was just proud of it. She was just like, yeah, I'm owning this. I'm full on crazy now.
Yeah, not only did she do that, but she was like, oh, that's the solution. Now we'll kill everybody.
Look at how well
it
worked.
In all the worlds. Because it worked, and now I have a kingdom to rule.
Yeah.
I also love that when she was giving the speech, she was like speaking in what language? Is that Valyrian?
High Valyrian, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's speaking to everybody else, like the Dothraki and the Unsullied.
Yeah.
And it was like Jon and Tyrion standing next to her. Tyrion maybe understands a couple of words, but I just imagine Jon standing there being like, is this good?
Yeah.
And then
like,
he hears Winterfell and he's
subtitles?
Like, oh no.
Yeah. That was also such a weird scene. I'm going to see if I can find that in the actual, in the timeline in the episode here. When she, here.
Credit where credit's due. That scene of her walking out with the dragon wings behind her was fucking dope.
That was amazing. Yeah, when the wings folded out from behind her, that
made
was
her
so
look
cool.
like a dragon herself. That was so
really
cool.
Good. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is another shot that I'm very confused about. Let me see if I can find like an overview. This shot, right? So, okay, so they said that when they showed the long night, basically all of the Dothraki died, right?
Yeah.
And half apparently of the Unsullied.
Yeah.
And then they showed when they were going to King's Landing and taking it in episode 5, they were not really fighting. Like there weren't that many people. They had like a small little army that were basically just like rushing the streets.
Yeah.
And now there's just literally hundreds and hundreds of them again.
Yeah. I think the show has always been bad about showing how many soldiers people have. Because first of all, it was like budget constraints and you couldn't do CG for whatever. But then they kept like saying, oh, well, we have like 10,000 people and the Army of the Dead has 100,000. And then we have how many from the Golden Company? I was like, okay, I don't know what these numbers mean. So visually,
Yeah.
I need to see it.
And they
Because
said,
that was something Lord of the Rings always did really well, was showed the scale of how big these armies are.
yeah, they're like rabbits. They're just mating. I made so yeah, chat.
The Unsullied are in the streets.
I mean, they do tend to do that a lot in the open. So yeah, maybe they just have a very fast incubation period.
But not only that, but they got attacked on their ships, and a bunch of them supposedly died there.
Yeah.
And I doubt Unsullied are able to swim.
Right? Especially since they've never been around the ocean before, ever. So, and also, the Golden Company were supposedly 20,000 men strong.
Yeah.
And so they had like 200 outside the gates, and then the rest of them, I guess, on the ships that Dany single-handedly took out?
Maybe.
I guess.
I mean, this stuff is all like semantics. This is all like this isn't even like the big issues.
No, this is just inconsistencies. But
yeah,
I want to go back in the episode to. Okay, so the first scene in the episode when they're walking down the main street and they find the same mom and daughter that Arya tried to save.
yeah, and failed miserably.
Yeah, very much failed.
I love. Wait, before you continue, there's a scene where they walk past that same building, and the building's like basically intact.
Yeah,
but she was like, "Come, you'll die here," and she dragged them out into the streets, and then they died out there. But the building seems fine.
If they just stayed in there, that'd be fine. But like that scene on its own, that I don't have any issues with that because it's like it's the main street, so yeah, sure, they could probably find that same person. But then everything after that scene becomes incredibly convenient because all of the destruction in King's Landing is so convenient. Like when Tyrion goes down underneath the crypts or like the cellar or whatever, where Jaime and Cersei died.
Yeah.
When we saw that happen, everything was caving in. Like the whole place was caving in. And now he can just lazily walk around on like one small layer of bricks.
Yeah, and it's just one little pile.
Yeah. And I think because we texted about this scene that I have up right now, where conveniently nothing but Jaime's golden hand sticks out of a small pile of rubble.
Yeah, and as we were watching it, he was like going through and he was like looking at the little pile, and I turned to Gab and I was like, what if he finds just Jaime's golden hand? And then literally the next scene was the hand sticking out. I fucking lost my shit.
Yeah, I mean this scene, I'm watching the episodes alone, so obviously I'm not going to have much of a crowd reaction here, but I laughed out loud at this scene. And this is supposed to be the strong emotional moment for Tyrion's character, but I was just laughing out loud. Actually, it was so dumb. And then he just moves like a couple of bricks, and then they're just lying perfectly, hugging each other.
Yeah, just they're not even mangled. There's nothing wrong with their faces.
A little bit of blood,
dusty.
a little bit of blood on the nose.
It's like, okay, I get it. They're dead.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the way they died was so fucking pitiful. It's like Jaime's whole thing early on in the show was, oh, how many people did you save? Talking to Qyburn. Or how many people did you kill? It was like too many to count. It was like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
It's like, how many people did you save? And he said 1 million, the population of King's Landing, because he killed the Mad King.
Yeah.
But then suddenly it's like, oh, now I don't care about innocence.
Yeah,
now all
when
I
he was
want
talking to
is Cersei.
Tyrion. Yeah. Oh, I never cared about them anyway. Well,
I was like, okay, I do like the repetitious scenes, like the time when he left Cersei to go fight for the living. They were in that map room, and then when he came back, that's where they rejoined again.
Yeah.
But he left because she had no humanity, and he wanted to go fight for the living. And then he just goes off, fights, almost dies, which a lot of them probably should have in that scene. But then he just has sex and then comes back.
Yeah.
And his character is fucking pointless.
He has a one night with a K stand, literally, and then he just leaves and goes back to Cersei. And
it was a 2-night stand that night.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so because one theory that someone brought up, I don't remember where. I think probably many people mentioned this, but that if Jaime had gone back to the city and died, like fighting Euron or whatever. And then Arya, like we hadn't seen that. We had seen the fight with Euron, and we had seen him get fatally stabbed like twice at least. Jaime, I mean. So he shouldn't be able to just walk around after that, but whatever. And then we just cut from that, right? Sure, whatever. And then we'll see him show up in the throne room or in the map room, hug Cersei, and then pull out a dagger and stab her. And then we get the reveal that, oh, it's Arya that took his face or something like that. Like, use her face stealing abilities for something.
Yeah.
Either that or just straight up have Jaime kill Cersei. Why not? Like, that was why he left Brienne, and not just because he wanted to go have some twincest again. Like, it's so...
Yeah, I get why they didn't do that. That's kind of where both of us, I think, thought it was going. I think that's where a lot of people thought it was going to go, because that was how he redeems himself. And then Cersei gets betrayed by the family who are trying to protect her all the time. Yeah. Whatever. Thematic nature. But it's just everything felt so pointless.
Yeah.
Like, Arya shows up in King's Landing. She does nothing.
Yeah.
She learns that revenge is not all it's cracked up to be, and it's not.
Arya, the only point to Arya being in King's Landing at all, I think, is just because the writers wanted a perspective on the ground. Like, they wanted someone to follow out of the city during the calamity.
Yeah.
And that's another weird point. Like, Arya, when we last saw her, she found a magical white horse and rode away out of the city, just away. And then we cut back to her next episode, and she's just in the city, just walking around.
Yeah, she's just walking back in the gates.
What is she doing? What's her point to anything?
And, like, these are all the inconsistency things in the episodes.
Yeah.
But there was another time when it was like walking past Grey Worm and he's executing people. It's like, okay, that's fucked up. And then Jon leaves and it's like, go talk to the Queen. Okay. He leaves, goes to the steps, and then Grey Worm's at the top of the steps.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm like, okay, maybe you meant that he didn't go there immediately, but the way it was set up and plotted, it looked like he just went straight there.
Oh, yeah.
And Grey Worm just teleported.
Yeah.
And we were joking that he's just like behind some of the walls somewhere else, just like scuttling along, like, fuck, I need to get there fast.
like a theater show, like a stage play. He's just like running behind the scenes, like, oh, I've got to get in my mark.
Yeah.
I mean, teleporting is part of the show now, so I'm not surprised, but yeah. And also, again, all the time, even then, with like them discussing, I think it was Jon and Tyrion discussing how messed up Dany has become. And they're still like, oh, we love her. I still love her. Tyrion says, like, how, what's the hook? Why does everyone unconditionally love Dany? I don't get it.
Yeah, because Tyrion's never really shown that. Like, Jorah and Dario Naharis and everybody kind of just fell for her beauty. Oh, yeah. But it seemed like Tyrion was going to fall for her mind, so to speak. Like, she was able to attract all these people because she was just the best version of what each person found attractive.
Yeah.
But they never set that up with Tyrion. No. He was just kind of like, I know you love her.
It's so inconsistent with his character and his motivations as a whole, because he wouldn't be drawn to her as a queen just because she's hot.
Yeah.
That Tyrion wouldn't do that.
No. But if anything, he probably wouldn't be drawn to her that way at all.
No, yeah.
But yeah, and then coming up to the top of the steps, and they went off, and then Arya just teleports, which is like, fine, that's her shtick. That's what Arya does now, apparently. But then she's like, I know a killer when I see one. It's like, yeah, the whole fucking town does.
Yeah.
She killed everyone.
That was such a fun moment as well when she walked up next to Jon. Let's see if I can skip forward to that bit, because they were like, okay, yeah, so they're in. What's that? They were in front of the whole army, her entire like fleet of everybody, all the guards and all the Dothraki. Everyone is there, and then Arya just magically shows up past all of the guards.
Yeah,
like, do they know? Do they know what she's doing? Like, barely Jon was able to go see the queen.
Yeah,
but Arya can just like, oh no, I'm just gonna go talk to them.
Maybe she just went sprinting, and everyone was like, "Whose lost child is this?"
I guess so. Maybe that's what she gets by on. Yeah, everyone just thinks she's a lost little child.
Yeah. Yeah, that the whole thing. I feel like there should be a structure to this, but there's so much to talk about that I don't know where to.
Yeah. Okay.
Start.
No. I mean, we can go because I have the plot written down linearly. So skipping past those scenes, then the one thing I did like a lot with the episode, I'm gonna see if I can find a shot of that, was the visual on its own of the throne melting.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That was really cool.
That.
I mean, cinematically, the whole season has been fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like some of the shots they were getting, like the dragon like raising up its wings and flying overhead as Clegane Bowl was happening. Like all of those shots were so cool.
Yeah.
And the acting was really fucking good and the music was the best it's ever been. It's all these really cool elements production wise.
The whole
and it's just
the cinematography of the whole episode and the visuals in general, like all the shots were incredibly well done, like both in composition and visual effects and everything.
Yeah. I liken it to like Uncharted 2 versus Uncharted 3, because Uncharted 3 I'm not a fan of, but Uncharted 2 is one of my favorite games ever. And it was like Uncharted 2 was like, okay, story, plot, characters, here's what we do, how do we get them into cool situations, what does that look like?
Yeah.
That feels like the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones. And then season 7 and 8 is Uncharted 3, where they legitimately said, we made up set pieces and then we made a story around those set pieces.
Yeah.
So it felt like we know where George wants to take the characters, like Dany dying, turning mad, throne melting, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But everything to get to there was like, we have no fucking idea, so we're just going to get there however we think.
Yeah. Yeah, they had decided on that's why this is a cool shot.
Yeah.
By the way. But yeah, no, it feels like they got pointers from George and also had their own like beats that they wanted to hit no matter what. Yeah. And then they didn't really care how the characters would get there. And they just sort of like, well, I mean, they're there. Basically what I did in my video that I shot out in a week, where it's like, oh no, they're just there because I want this to happen.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
They had a year and a whole writing staff to do that. They should have done a better job of it.
And not only that, but they had the experience of writing George's stuff first.
Oh, yeah.
So it feels like they probably should have figured out what the characters were all about.
Yeah.
But this way it feels like you're really good at like tracing someone else's drawing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to drawing on your own, it's like it doesn't make any sense. It's very, very rushed.
They needed more episodes.
Yeah, before anyone says, because this is the thing that's been going around on the internet forever, is like, you're just mad because Dany went crazy and died. It's like, no, I don't care that happened. Yeah. I don't even care that Arya killed the Night King. I think it's stupid how it happened.
Yeah.
But,
well, exactly. That I think is the main point, that people who are set on defending the show or defending the characters or whatever, they use that as their main motivation, which is you're just not happy because they didn't get a happy ending or whatever, or your characters didn't get the ending you wanted, which isn't the point. The point is that the ending, basically everything that happened, well, almost everything that happened in the last season on its own is fine, but it's not the what, but the why or the how it happened.
Yeah. And normally it's fine. Like if you're a casual viewer of the show and you just like watching it week by week and seeing what happens, that's fine. We're not trying to say that nobody should like it at all. But it's antithetical to what Game of Thrones was. It was the show that was set up to go against, like George made the books and the series to go against fantasy tropes. Yeah. That the heroes are not the heroes and that everything can go wrong and big characters can die and everything. But this feels like Walking Dead syndrome, where it's shock value, it's torture porn, it's like weird shit just happens for the sake of happening because they need those like people watching Game of Thrones in the bar reaction videos to keep coming.
Yeah. What can we do to get good reaction videos on YouTube out of it?
Yeah, it's there for shock value more so than it is for like slow building up and then big payoffs and consequence and shit happening for reasons. It just felt like, here's stuff, go. Be angry.
The whole thing about Dany going mad, I think everyone was expecting that or thinking that was going to happen because it's been pretty heavy-handedly hinting towards that.
Yeah, they keep mentioning how crazy her dad was.
Yeah, and with her always wanting to resort to violence before being talked out of it, and always having that sort of glint in her eye of I want to burn people. So yeah, I'm fine with her doing that, but not in the course of one episode because they killed Miss Sunday. I guess that was the thing that pushed her over the edge.
Not only her, but Grey Worm just completely changed after that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get, but not to that degree.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I said, like, sure, blowing up the Red Keep and everyone in there being a casualty for the greater good, but not just mowing down. She didn't even go for Cersei. That's the weird part. She just started mowing down innocent people and then didn't
second-handedly killed her.
Yeah.
Like as a byproduct of killing innocent people.
Yeah.
Which in and of itself is a big problem because Cersei was this huge villain, and for most of the show's run, she was great. She got a little hokey towards the last 2 seasons. But it was like all she did this season was look out the same window. Every episode.
Yeah, she
had sex with Mustache Man.
Yeah.
I so wanted him after when he said, "I'm the man who killed Jaime Lannister." I wanted him so bad. He just go, "I'm the man." just have it cut to the next thing. I'm like, that would have just still been in place with the writing for the rest of the episode.
Kind of. Yeah. No, Cersei went from being one of the most interesting, I think, to me anyway, one of the most interesting and most clever people on the show to just not doing shit. Because I was watching someone else's video as well, or listening to someone else's podcast or something, and they said like, oh, we kept waiting for Cersei's twist. Like, okay, she's there, she's looking on, and Dany's taking over the city. What's the hook? What's gonna happen? What's Cersei's card up her sleeve? Because she always has one, because she's smart. She always plans things out in her favor. She didn't just send Euron's fleet away, she sent them to get the Golden Company. Like, all of this stuff she does with an ulterior motive. And then she just starts crying and runs off and dies under rubble. It's like, oh.
Yeah. It just made her like a bumbling buffoon by the end, because it was like, it's okay. All it takes is one good hit. It's like, all the scorpions are down.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay. The Golden Company will do this. It's like, they're all dead. It's like that like, what's the Hitler movie where everyone keeps memeing that scene where they they put in subtitles for like.
Oh, yeah. I don't actually know.
They keep doing it where it's super silly, and he's like saying things like, oh no, they'll do this, and it's like, no, they're already taken out. It felt like that kind of scene.
They're undergung, is that it? Okay, yeah. People say.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie before. I just know the meme out of it.
Yeah, same. But yeah, also that, chat. Cersei being pregnant, why was that even set up? I guess as a red herring for us to start caring about her again before she died?
Yeah, it was almost like we don't have a reason for her to actually want to keep going, or it's like we needed a reason for everybody else to care about her in the show as well. Like,
yeah, exactly. To me, that felt like there was no point to it other than, oh shit, people aren't gonna be sad or like care when Cersei dies because they don't care anymore. So we'll make her pregnant so that people have to feel bad when she dies because her unborn child will as well.
Yeah, which is, again, terrible writing, because she was written as a great villain before, because you were like, I actually kind of like her.
Yeah.
Even though she's doing horrible shit.
Oh yeah, even like way back when what's his face? Joffrey died, and when she blew up the Sept with basically everyone else in it, I was like, yeah, go Cersei. I feel bad for you, and also I'm cheering you on a little bit, although I don't want to, but that was a ballsy move.
Yeah,
and then,
that was a Yas Queen move.
Kind of, right? And then, nope, that's just out the window. So, I don't know, it's so weird. And I actually, let me see if I can pull this up on my phone as well, because just before the stream, I was reading an interview with Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow, if you don't know, chat. And he was saying that, or like the article was saying that if you were cheering on, Dany before, when she was like burning the slave owners with her dragons when she bought the Unsullied, and she was burning whatever evil people she was burning. If you were cheering her on then you're just as culpable as Tyrion and Jon and whatever else people in the show for supporting her, because that's what they were doing as well.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, but those were evil people. She was burning evil people, which you can sort of motivate. And someone else, I was watching a video by Cookie Addictions. I actually wrote down the name because I wanted to give credit where credit is due, because she brought up a good point where you could sort of flip that argument, really, and say, well, Jon has killed a lot of evil people in his eyes to get to where he needed to be, or to where he thought was the right way to go.
Yeah.
What if he had snapped and just started slaughtering people in King's Landing? Would you have been able to say the same thing? That, oh no, but he's been killing a lot of people before. It makes sense that he would go insane and just started murdering everybody.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't. But you could say that argument.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like the visuals of her burning down King's Landing is super fun, and I still wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
Because that's just awesome, to just like a big middle finger to the biggest city in the whole show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just rearrange some things. They killed Rhaegal just randomly because it was like, oh, surprise, we need a reaction out of people. But if they just had it where she had like landed and the bells were ringing or something, and then somebody like Helm's Deep style like accidentally fired because they were pissed off and they weren't listening to the bells, and then took down the dragon because it was sitting still because they were ready to give up, then it would have been great motivation to be like, you know what, fuck you guys, I'm gonna burn you all.
Yeah. I mean,
but no, it was like Missandei losing her head.
Realistically, the dragon should have died when Missandei lost her head, because it was just sitting on the floor and there was like 400 scorpions just pointed at it, and no one fired a bolt because honor. Because Cersei always has that a lot.
No one acted in character at all at that moment. Tyrion went up to try and save his sister again.
To appeal to Cersei for like the 400th times. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and it's almost like the baby is there for that scene alone to be like, just think about your kids, you know? You always think about your kids. And then Cersei would have just pummeled everyone into the ground at that moment, or at least took shots at the dragon or something. And then Missandei just kind of accepts her fate and dies without giving any sort of fight at all.
Yeah, and also dying in chains, I feel, is a little bit... I mean, I kind of like it as a horrible moment, but it was such a shame for her character to go out like that, I think. A lot of the deaths in this lately, especially this season, but even season 7, a lot of the deaths felt, I don't know, a little bit unfair and unwarranted. Like, people die when they shouldn't die, and people don't die when they should die. There's so many points where people should have died, and just everyone's just fine. Like Varys, chat. Varys' death is dumb. Is so stupid.
Yeah, and he was writing messages to everybody.
Yeah,
he was like a fucking printing press, and he was pumping out messages to everybody and sending them off on birds and everything. It's like, did everyone just forget? Lol meme. Dany just kind of forgot. But did everyone just not get those messages? Like, everyone else now knows that Jon is the true king. And there's no way they'd all sit and be like, yeah, you know what, let's abolish this and let's vote for Bran. If there is a rightful king, they're not going to go out of their ways.
And was Varys planning on poisoning Dany?
I think so, yeah. That's why he took off his rings.
Why would he take off his rings? Because I didn't get that at all when I was watching the episode. I was like, the little bird, the little lady, the little kid came in and told Varys that Dany isn't eating. And Varys was like, okay, we'll try again at dinner time or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, she's not eating, and they're going to try to get her to eat again at dinner time because they care about her. And obviously she needs to eat, because otherwise she will get weak and not be able to make decisions good. But that was supposed to signify that they were poisoning her? Was that the point?
I guess. It's just, Varys like somebody pointed out, that he died like Littlefinger died because the characters are almost too smart for the writers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we know where to go when we're told where they're going, and George spends a lot more time figuring out these characters and their motivations and the little intricacies, and he has it much better planned out than anybody ever could. So when you're left to your own devices to have these characters to motivate them to keep going, it's kind of like, well, we don't really know what to do with them anymore.
Yeah,
so we have to kill them off because we just don't know how to deal with characters who are that far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, because they would be an issue for the ending they had planned, so they can't be alive for that.
Yeah.
It's also like people have been saying a lot, like in terms of getting the books or reading the books, like don't bother because it's going to be another 20 years or he's never going to finish them or whatever, this and that. It's like, okay, but I'd rather wait another 20 years for like a well-written ending than what they did for the show.
Yeah.
Because it's such a waste of all the world building that they've been building up for so many years, and all the lore and all the prophecies. I mean, the show wasn't as heavy-handed on prophecies as the books have been, but there's still a lot left unexplored.
Yeah, and I think George probably told them like all the plot points, like this is probably how George is going to end it as well. But it feels like he'll spend better time getting to that point, and then it'll actually make sense.
Yeah. But I have the article here that the interview with Kit, Jon Snow, and he said, quote, "How I feel about the show right now is quite defiant. I think no matter what anyone thinks about the season, and I don't mean to sound mean, but whatever critic spends half an hour writing about this season and making their negative judgment on it, in my head, they can go fuck themselves, because I know how much work was put into this. I know how much people care, how much pressure people put themselves under, and I know how many sleepless nights people spent working on the show, blah, blah, blah."
Wait, he said that?
Yeah, Kit Harington said that.
Oh.
And he said, if people feel let down by it, I don't give a fuck because everyone tried their hardest. Like, well, okay. Way to
work put in does not equal quality out.
That's what I was going to say. Like, yeah, you can put a lot of time and effort into something. That doesn't make it automatically great. Like, it can still be bad.
Yeah.
And even himself has said that the last season is disappointing. So, I don't know. That was a weird thing to say.
It's almost like we put a lot of effort into certain videos that we upload to my channel.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they don't get the views or people don't like them or whatever, we don't turn around and then be like, well, go fuck yourselves, community. We put a lot of effort in and we know how much effort went in. So if you don't like it, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a terrible argument.
Oh yeah. And I think it's a hard-pressed argument to make because D&D did not put that much effort into writing this last season. The actors, okay, so yes, the actors and the stunt crews and the coordinators and all that, I'm sure that they put in massive amounts of effort. But when it comes to the writing, not so much. It was like the laziest writing ever.
Well, I guess in his defense, like he doesn't see that aspect of it. He sees the grunt work, the on the ground work that people put in. And
and I'm sure that spending whatever they did, 56 nights filming The Long Night, felt like felt like an arduous journey, and that was probably a long night. But again, that doesn't equate to it being a great product at the end of the day.
And that's the problem with people conflating the idea that we're just sad that Jon didn't end up on the throne or something.
Yeah.
Like that's not why most people are upset about this.
Yeah.
And I think when it's like you can't see the forest through the trees or something like that, that kind of saying. It's like, I get that when you're writing the show and you're doing it season by season, having so many years in it, you kind of forget what the character is. Especially as an actor, you're kind of just in it and you're going along with what's written. But audiences are rewatching the show. They're getting ready for the new season.
Yeah.
So to them, inconsistencies and plot points and everything stand out way stronger than what it would be if you're actually working on the show, because you just see all the behind the scenes then.
Yeah, I feel like the writers should have been rewatching the show prior to writing every new season. I don't think they did. It doesn't feel like they did, but
no.
It's just
and at the same time
rushed at the end of the day.
Yeah, as Jane pointed out, like feedback should never be silenced.
That
I mean,
too, yeah.
sure, you don't need to listen to it, but to just say "go fuck yourselves,"
Yeah.
that's a little disappointing to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, and that seems to be the main like counter argument that everyone, not just like people working on it, but people defending it as well, is if you don't like it, then shut up about it. It's like, well,
Yeah,
that's not really how criticism works either. It's not like shitting on something for no reason. There are valid reasons to point out contradictions and stuff as well.
yeah, because both of us are very heavily invested in the show. Me and Robin got together like a lot on WhatsApp, just texting back and forth theories of what we thought were going to happen.
Yeah,
And
even live while we were watching the episodes.
yeah,
at some
we were
points.
like really invested in the characters and was like, oh, what if Bran is Bran the Builder? And what if he's the like voice in the Mad King's ear that told him to kill everybody?
What if it all loops and he's the original Long Night creator and everything, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And what if he's trying to like warn somebody who's king in the future about something, but he gets time travel bounced around like he did with Hodor, and the voices get mixed up, and that's the crazy voices in the Mad King's ears, and he was just here and burned them all, but it was for something else. I'm like, all that shit would have been dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Bran's fucking warg powers were pointless.
What was he doing? He was browsing wheelchairs on ancient store Amazon.
He was on Amazon.
Yeah. That's
looking
the
for new wheels.
dumbest thing. He was like, literally, that's not even hyperbole or a joke. He says in the episode that he was off, he got the blueprint for his wheelchair from like a king from 150 years ago because he liked that model.
I like that one.
He literally says that. That's what he's using his time travel, infinite knowledge and wisdom powers for?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Nothing can beat a good story.
That's true. And I think it was one of the D&Ds that says that said recently about the ending season that a good story isn't a good story without a good ending. Oof. Yeah.
But Bran, well, to me, Bran was like the one I liked the most because the idea of those powers is what entices me. I love time travel. I love weird shit like that. And then they teased it so strongly. It's just like, let him warg into a dragon. Let him. I get that his power was actually, he saw the whole thing and he was the one who kind of orchestrated everything to be the way it is. But it just feels like, but why?
Yeah.
Why did you? He's like, I don't want anymore, actually.
Yeah.
I don't really care for anything anymore. And then at the end, it's like, why do you think I'm here?
Yeah, because he wanted all of this in the end.
Yeah, but give him more screen time then to like set it up a little bit.
Yeah. I thought that, okay, this is something that many people seem to be confused about. So I'm also confused about this now. Bran can't see the future, can he? Or can he?
I think he can, because he got the same flash that Dany did in the tent that time. He saw the like dragon flying over King's Landing and everything, and like when he touched the tree.
Yeah, but well, yes, but those are like, I don't know. He said he couldn't though, right? Because I think maybe it's a discrepancy between the books and the show, because and chat is saying that he can't as well, because I've seen a lot of people bringing up the point that Bran should have known everything because he can see the future, and a lot of people saying, well, no, he shouldn't because he can't actually see the future, he can only see the past and the present.
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be the strongest, like, warg greenseer, right? They're saying, like, no one has ever warged into a before. Like, no one can do that.
Yeah.
And then, but Jojen Reed was able to see the future because he said that he saw the dude's death that night, the guy at Craster's. So he was able to kind of see the future.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was kind of left up in the air on the show that Bran could see. I mean, he must have been able to see it because he gave Arya the knife that was intended to kill him that ended up killing the Night King. So, and it, like, even when it happened, I was like, oh, that knife is super important because obviously his reaction is like, he kind of like pulls away and he's like, oh, she has it now. I'm kind of like plotting.
So why didn't he tell Theon to just like chill for 10 seconds and wait for Arya?
I don't know. Well, it's that thing. It's like everybody, and he said it to Jon, you were exactly where you were supposed to be, which is absolutely fine. If everything Infinity War style, it's like, this is what needs to happen for an outcome to happen.
I was just thinking when he said that line that you were exactly where you needed to be, I just wanted a hard cut to Jon standing up and screaming in the dragon's face. Just like, that's where you needed to be.
Yeah.
I know, chat is right as well. Maybe they forgot about the fact that Bran can see the future. Maybe he forgot that he can see the future.
And Evelyn said, him saying, why do you think I came out all this way, kind of confirms that he knew he was supposed to be there for that moment. But again, when he becomes king, then he doesn't display why he thinks he's going to be better. It doesn't even show why he is better. It just goes back to a small council meeting that you're on now. And it's like, this is the same again.
Yeah. It just goes on. And I went to this moment because this is a weird part in the episode as well to me. He shows up at the small council's meeting and they go, anyone seen the dragon? And all of them are like, nope, no word yet. And Bran goes, I'll see if I can find him. And then we never see or hear from him again.
No.
What was the point of that?
Then and there at the table and have them talk about everything else as you're somewhere else.
Yeah. Why did he have to roll away for that one? And what was did he find it? I was looking for like an end credit sequence where we saw like Dany with the because the dragon flew away with Dany's corpse for some reason.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for like some warging post-credits flash for that. Nope, nothing.
Yeah. No.
What was that?
Okay, now that you're on this scene, one of my notes is Bronn ?
Yep.
What the fuck? Why is Bronn in this season?
I guess he did become Lord of what is it? The High Gardens?
High Garden.
Yeah.
But he becomes the master of coin. Where Tyrion had to explain to him how a loan works and how debt works.
Yep.
So he doesn't even understand basic concepts of money, but he's the master of coin?
That's all you need to know is how a loan works, is that you pay a loan back and then you're good. Now you can be a master of coin.
I mean, Bronn used to be my favorite character. Seasons 1 to 4, he was my favorite character on the show. And then it was Davos. I still think Davos is my favorite character.
Davos is awesome, yeah.
But Bronn, it was just like, we have the quirky old man who says what everybody's thinking. It's like, or he jabs a knife in the conversation when everyone else is being super formal and he comes in super cutthroat. I'm like, I like that. Yeah. But this season it was like, he shows up in Winterfell after saying that he's going to kill the two brothers.
Yeah.
For whatever he was promised. I can't remember. And then, Highgarden. No, not Highgarden. Tyrion promises him Highgarden.
Yeah, he was promised some other castle. He's been promised every castle in the realm by now.
Yeah, and then he just shows up and is like, oi, cunts. I'm getting me a castle, so I'm going to kill both of you unless you give me something better. It's like, okay, I don't really feel like he would have done that.
And also, the whole reason for him showing up there and wanting to kill them is because the Lannisters keep promising him things that he never gets. And then they promise him more things, and he's okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, for whatever about like sneaking past all the guards and everything, that all that shit is just ancillary stuff that I don't really care about. But it's still dumb, but I don't care.
Oh no,
because everything else.
Arya taught him.
So the people are like, Bronn, you're friends with the brothers. Go on in.
Yeah.
But he has a much stronger connection to both brothers than he ever did to Cersei, even if she's promising shit all the time. It feels like he knew his limits of when someone was bullshitting him. But like, if I was in his position, I never would have trust Cersei to give me.
I don't understand why anyone trusts Cersei.
And then he kind of shows up and semi-betrays the brothers and then just kind of leaves.
Yeah.
Threatening that he would kill them. And even if he never would, like, all of that stuff is never really, like, put in place to be like, he's just joking kind of thing. And then he just shows up at the end. It's like, welcome back. Why are you here?
Yeah, how are you here? Where were you in the meantime?
Also, side note, is his name Jeremy or Jerome Flynn?
Jerome Flynn.
Jerome Flynn. He was a singer in the UK years ago. But him and Lena Headey both dated at one point in real life.
Really?
And the relationship ended so badly that it's rumored in their contracts they're not allowed to be in scenes together. But the only scene they're ever in together is the one where she's like, go kill. Oh no, that's why Qyburn brings the crossbow, because he doesn't even interact with Cersei directly.
Oh, really?
Because they were, that's why when they go to the council meeting at the dragon pit last season with the dead body,
Yeah.
he turns to Pod and he's like, we don't need to be here. Let's just go get a drink.
Oh,
so they never end up
no.
in a scene together. So that just automatically fucked up the writing.
What, did they start dating? Like, did they meet on the show?
No, I don't know. And again, that's a rumor that it's in their contract. But I think it's known that their relationship happened and it didn't end well.
It is known.
I think that wasn't a rumor anymore. That's confirmed. It was. I haven't heard that. So
there's another. Wow, which movie was that? I think it was one of the Fast and the Furious movies, or one of those things with The Rock and Vin Diesel, where they also hated each other so much for some reason. I don't remember. Where they would refuse to do scenes together. So any scene with them together is like a composite of them shooting the same scene on their own, and then they just put it together in editing.
The good old Ghost and Jon Snow trick.
Yeah. Oh no. I am happy with that. At least we got to see Jon pet Ghost.
Yeah. I said that at the start of the episode to Evelyn that I hope Jon goes back north at some point to be with Tormund and Ghost.
Yeah.
Because it would have been sad if he never saw them again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's what I wanted for Jon. Although I think the motivation for him going is weird, because they say that he's gonna take the Black and go back to Castle Black. And I'm like, okay, but why is there a Night's Watch? What are they protecting the world from? When there's no enemy threat from the Wildlings, they're all friends with the Wildlings, and there's no White Walkers. What are they doing?
Also, once you go black, you never go back. So why?
That's true.
But yeah, because that bothered me. His ending made me sad at first. People are speculating that it was a ploy for him to go back to Castle Black, so no one was mad at him for killing Dany.
Yeah.
But really, the real reason he went back north was never to take Castle Black again. It was actually to go north and live in the north.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but it was like, it was only the Unsullied who were really that mad at him, and maybe the Dothraki who just seemed to did not fucking care anymore. They were mad at him. And then they were like, well, I guess it's okay if he goes back to Castle Black. But then they fucking left.
Yeah.
They went to yeah, I was like, couldn't you just stay around and be like, okay, just go outside the town for 5 minutes and then come back when Grey Worm.
Yeah, when they're not looking, we'll just sneak you in the back door.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also feel like if the king says that Jon is pardoned, wouldn't he be pardoned because the king has ultimate authority? And I feel also like if there's anyone still surviving from King's Landing, like the general population, I don't think they'd be too upset to hear that, oh, the queen who burned everybody isn't queen after all.
Yeah.
So who's left to oppose Jon hanging around?
Exactly.
The Unsullied. That's it.
Yeah. And the Dothraki were like her blood riders.
Yeah.
It was like ride or die, basically. You kill our queen, we kill you.
Yeah.
And then Jon just like walks by them.
Yeah. It just leaves.
At the end.
No, because the king said that it was okay, I guess.
And they did this in a previous episode as well, where it's like, I need to tell you about my parentage. Go on, tell them. Skip.
Yeah.
And then it was like, what if there's someone better, Tyrion? Skip.
So many times. So many things they've done this with, where they set up a scene where you want to see where it goes, and then they cut.
And then the biggest twist of all time, him killing Daenerys, and then skip.
Yeah.
Now we're just at a trial for Tyrion.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, is this where they find out? No, everybody just knows now. Everyone's just already found out that Jon killed Dany. And that's not a reaction that we'd want to see, is it?
No, not at all.
It's like Luke Skywalker finding out that Han Solo was killed in Last Jedi.
Yeah.
He's about to know or about to find out, and we cut to the next scene. Because who'd want to see that reaction? The whole long night was full of that as well, where we set up an impossible situation where our whatever protagonist is overwhelmed and surely dead, and then we cut, and then next time we cut back, they're just fine.
Yeah.
So much of that. I hate
It had
that
been a
stuff.
It had been a few weeks between scenes. Oh no, I get that there is a cut of time. The problem is that there is a cut of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Because it's the biggest reactions to things that people have been speculating for a long time, and then they just
skip past.
It was like that whole like a few weeks later, a few months later, like plot device is really lazy.
Yeah. And I've seen this argument being made a lot as well, that the reason for people teleporting all over the place or time skipping all over the place like this, like it has been for the past 2 seasons, is because they're focusing on showing us the important stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine, fair enough. But first of all, when it comes to reactions like that, to Dany being murdered by Jon, that's not something that isn't important or interesting. Like, there's gonna be a reaction there. Show that. Second, I think that even if we want to focus on the important part, not everyone's gonna show up at the same time, at the same place, if people are traveling by different means from different locations.
Yeah.
Like, there's still inconsistencies. Because in the first seasons, it took like months. It took several episodes for them to travel between places.
Yeah,
and interesting stuff happened. Character
when Robert
development.
shows up in Winterfell at the very beginning of the show, they talk about how it took them months to get from King's Landing to Winterfell.
Yeah, and now everyone's just running back and forth.
That's not even the whole country.
Yeah, no, those are like close to each. That's like half the country, if even. But no, they just teleport now because we need them to be places. And I feel like this is also a rumor, like a speculation, allegedly. HBO XX were like giving D&D as much money as possible, or as like just like, here, have all the money you need, make as many episodes as you need, make it a 10 episode season, just do it good, do it the best thing you can do. And they were like, nah, we don't need it. That's what's been alleged about the final season.
I think that's basically confirmed at this point.
I would not be surprised. I feel like they're just rushing to get on to Star Wars at this point.
Yeah, that's the main running theory with people now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no one's going to watch it if you fuck up the thing you were just working on.
Yeah.
If anything, you've proven that you can't take somebody else's material and repurpose it to something else and then have it follow through to a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah.
Now you're taking on Star Wars, arguably the biggest franchise in the whole world, especially right now, and you're going to take somebody else's work and try and mold it to your own. It's like, I can't see that working out at all.
Oh no, it's going to be another Rian Johnson, but probably maybe even worse because of the rumor the reputation they have going in.
Yeah.
And also, chat, the fact that Arya never wants to use her face ability again, which is such a waste, I think, because I thought that was a really cool ability.
She used it like twice to kill people.
Yeah.
She did it like Meryn Trant and
then
Walder Frey.
Yeah. And then it was never even talked about again. And also, I think we mentioned this as well, or maybe I was talking with someone else, but the fact that when they're at the small, or not the small council, but where they declare Bran to be the king.
Yeah.
And they're talking about like, oh, Tyrion says that he's the memory of this world and he is the all-knowing, all-powerful being of everything.
Nothing beats a story, yeah.
Yeah. And no one has any questions or interjections to that. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, half the people there have no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Half the people, 80% of the whole fucking side of Westeros didn't even see the Army of the Dead.
I know, right?
It's still a legend to them.
The people who were at that meeting, do they even know who Bran is?
Yeah, did they even know a Night King existed?
He's just a dude in a wheelchair, and suddenly Tyrion, the guy they were just holding imprisoned, is saying that, no, he's the best guy in the world. Oh, okay, let's go with that then.
It went from Grey Worm dragging him in like a dog, being like, no, bad dog, you don't speak.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to give the longest speech.
Yeah. And everyone just goes with it. Yeah. Oh, so weird. It's such a... motivations are all over the place.
Yeah, and not only that, but Bran knew everything. Like, Sam and Bran both knew that Jon was a Targaryen.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they were like, we need to tell him the night before the long night. They told him. And then it was like, why? Why did we have to tell him?
Yeah.
If anything, you telling him fucked Daenerys up more. Because then her inner conflict came out.
Yeah. No,
and
that was just... that was a plot device.
I guess it can be argued that, like, oh, this is what had to happen, and Bran saw it, that this is the only way that blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, so you willingly just let thousands and hundreds of thousands of people die just so you could end up being king?
Yeah. If Bran knows the future, then he willingly let all of that happen. Right? Yeah. And also, the whole concept of winter is coming and winter is here seems to have been forgotten about. Because old Nan at the very start of the show were talking about the last long night, the last winter that she was alive during, that mothers were killing their children rather than letting them starve or freeze to death.
Yeah.
And then winter has come and everyone's just like hanging out, going on journeys all over the lands, even up in the north beyond the wall without any issues. Everyone's just like, yeah, let's go outside. Let's travel on horseback for months and months, I guess.
Yeah. And I think the whole idea of winter is coming was made up by the Starks. And everyone was like, well, the Starks are Northmen, so they know when winter is here because it hits them first, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I think it was supposed to be the Starks are originally from the blood of the first men.
Yeah, yeah.
So winter is coming is an analogy, obviously, for the Night King coming. Like, the White Walkers are coming because White Walkers are winter. And it's like an analogy for, like, global warming and bullshit like that.
Yeah.
No, not that global warming is bullshit.
No,
but just
yeah,
that
but those
everything rolled into
analogies.
one.
Yeah.
Bad choice of words. But it was like winter is coming is like an actual force. It's not just a season that's coming. It's an actual, like, physical presence that's making its way south. And that was the idea that snow falling in King's Landing was like, shit, this is something that's really serious now because like they've come so far south and now they're beyond the wall that it's actually like land is like snow is here in the south, which seemed to symbolize that it was not like that was stuff that never happened.
Yeah.
And then they just die and it's like,
yeah,
oh,
it
I
didn't
guess
matter.
winter wasn't coming.
And yeah, also, yeah, exactly, chat. There was no real point to Jon being a Targaryen other than to make Dany a little bit more suspicious.
Yeah.
It had no other impact. Like none of the prophecies, nothing with the prince who was promised or nothing with all of that came. And he didn't even, because like someone was pointing out as well and saying that when Drogon burned the throne, that it looked like he was gonna burn Jon.
Yeah.
Because for some reason he was just okay with his mother essentially being murdered. But anyway, it looked like he was going to burn Jon. And I was like, okay, is he going to burn Jon? And then we're going to see that Jon is fine because he's flame retardant and he just takes it because he's a Targaryen?
Well, that's also a thing that I think the books talk about is that not all Targaryens are flame retardant. I think
guess not.
I think it's just a Daenerys thing and that's why she's special.
Yeah. But then he didn't. And he just turned to the throne and burned it. And I'm like, okay, cool visual, but why would he care? Why does the dragon burn the throne? Yeah, okay, the dragons are smart and all, but they don't have political motivations. Why?
Yeah.
Why did that happen? It's a lot
and
of
it was,
that.
I mean, it's cool to see because, like,
it's really super cool scene.
Larion the Dread forged the throne, so it's cool that another dragon melts it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I like this scene, but again, the way they got there was weird.
Yeah, and it feels like the whole thing was to like abolish the old ways, break the wheel and whatnot. But a lot of what they ended up doing was like, you're kind of just doing the same shit again. It's like, we need a place for broken people and bastards. It's like, not really. You can just like rehabilitate them.
Yeah.
Show that bastards are not something to be... It's like the whole point of Jon's story is that like, doesn't matter if you're a bastard, you can still do amazing things. Yeah. And then we find out, oh, he's not a bastard. So it's like, okay, but he's still like that figurehead for people who are bastards in the show for doing cool things. And then it's like, no, we still need a place for bastards. It's like, yeah, good job breaking that wheel.
Yeah.
Keeping people away from each other and not uniting them.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another plot point, was the whole North being separated.
Yeah, I was gonna mention. Yeah, no, but go on.
Because I get that the Northmen have been through a lot. They were originally a separate state from everybody else. That they had their own thing going on, and no one really cared because they were trustworthy, they were loyal, and they just did their own thing, and they protected the realms of men because they were the first point of contact beyond the Night's Watch, whatever. But then, like, your brother gets anointed king.
Yeah.
He knows absolutely everything. The fear of what the North fears most, which is like White Walkers and shit, is kind of gone.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you still want the independence?
Yeah. No, I like that Arya or Sansa was the one to like lead the North or be Queen of the North or whatever. Wardeness of the North, I guess she should have been. But I love that I wanted her to end up leading Winterfell. I even said that in the video that I did. So I'm all on board with that. But like you said, when her brother, I guess technically it isn't her brother, it is the three-eyed raven, and he's not Bran anymore, but he still kind of is. It seems sometimes he is and sometimes he isn't.
Yeah, from her point of view, he's still her brother.
Yeah. So why would she then suddenly demand independence from the rest of the world? She only said that, the North has been through so much, they won't want to bend the knee again.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's a chill guy now. Don't they want... Is this not a good thing?
The whole point is like, yes, we broke the wheel. We have somebody else who's not doing all this shit, who doesn't really need you to bend the knee.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, but now you're separated, and now it's the 6 kingdoms instead of the 7 kingdoms. Why aren't we all united?
Yeah.
That's like the thing that breaks the wheel, is that we've never been united.
Yeah.
It's all single houses fighting amongst each other and seeing who's going to be king. But now you have somebody who is king who doesn't want any of that, but now you want to be independent. And even then, wasn't Yara promised that the Iron Islands would remain independent? And then she's just fine. She throws a hissy fit that Daenerys is dead. And it's like,
that was weird as well, yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess Bran is king.
Yeah.
And then, wouldn't the Dornish men want to be independent as well?
Yeah, if Sansa gets it, then why wouldn't everyone else start demanding the same? Because it seems, for the independent state, it seems beneficial, if not everyone's in on it anyway. Like, the point I thought was of making Bran the king was that he doesn't want anything, so he won't be mad with power or whatever, because he doesn't care anyway.
Yeah.
But now there's a potential for Sansa to be that person and just sort of want to rule things her way and not conform or like help out with everyone else. It's an awkward ending. I don't know.
People were pointing out that, like, yes, Bran can't have kids, so the Stark line in Winterfell has a chance to, like, fizzle out or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, isn't the whole point that all of that is nonsense that doesn't need to continue because we figured out that that's all horseshit? Like, the symbolism of destroying the throne is that everything that people are fighting over all this time, like, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that there's a king. It doesn't matter that you need to be born into blood anymore, because now we're just going to elect our own kings because democracy.
And that was also, I thought the whole point of Jon's arc or Jon's character is to try to get that point across, that for all of the seasons up until like the war or whatever, he was always the one that was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what titles anyone holds. It's all about like life and death and bringing people together.
Yeah.
But then I hope that he got paid by the times he said, "She's my queen."
Yeah.
Because like, man, does he repeat that a lot. Suddenly he's like, nothing matters other than that she's his queen now, and whatever she does goes.
Like, they made him so pathetic in this season.
Yeah, I don't get it, and people say that this is in line with his character or with all the characters because they're bound by honor, and Ned was also bound by honor. But I think that it's been established that Jon is more bound by serving man, like Varys was, I guess.
Yeah.
And because
Jon went against that lots of times.
Oh yeah,
like,
many times.
With Ygritte, it was like, well, he did go back to his brothers and everything, but it was almost like he was going to do that with her, that he was going to go against his duties just to fall in love with her and be with her. But then he went back to his duties anyway.
Yeah.
So love didn't sway him in that regard. So,
And if this scene with Tyrion visiting him in jail, I guess, and basically convincing him to do something about it, if Tyrion hadn't been around for this, would Jon still follow Dany?
yeah.
Because that's what I'm getting out of it. If Tyrion hadn't convinced him that he would just, I guess, suck it up and just live with the fact that Dany killed everybody and she would be queen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like anyone acted the way that they would.
Yeah, because Jon was the one who, like, he was all about loyalty and he tried to live by his dad's rules.
Mm.
But then he started to suddenly realize that loyalty is only going to get him so far. And then he went against the Night's Watch immediately when he found out that there was a bigger problem. And he did stuff with the Wildlings and he brought them through, and he was the first person to ever do that, and completely going against his loyalty.
Yeah.
And then they just reverted it to be like, no, he's just super loyal because Daenerys is a queen and he bent the knee already. It just doesn't feel like that's what Jon would do.
No, definitely not. And same with Tyrion. He wouldn't do half of the shit that he's been doing.
Yeah.
I do think Arya has been fairly consistent. The only thing that I found weird about her was her sort of split decisions in both claiming that they need to be a family and stick together, and then also just piecing off and just going on her own little adventure.
Yeah, it was very tone deaf for her to talk about family all the time when she was the one who, like, left to train on a completely different continent. And
also ending the season with just taking off for nowhere, potentially. But I do like her character, and I like that she did that. Like, that felt like a fitting ending for her, or for that seemed logical for her character. I just didn't like that she also was the one to talk a lot about family. They could have just left that part out, or left that to Sansa or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of like her ending, but the other endings for the characters, I just didn't feel anything.
I mean, Sansa's crowning scene is super cool, and I like Sansa, and I like that she gets to be like a wardeness or a queen. So, queen in the north.
Queen in the north, yeah.
But the way they set it up makes it seem like she was almost selfish.
Well, that's
and almost
the thing.
Arrogant to a degree.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wanted her to get that part and get that role, but she got it by being almost coming off as spoiled and snarky at that meeting with everybody, and then just sort of bullying her way into getting that role. It's well deserved, and I want her to have it, but again, not this way, not that way.
And it was almost like they tried to make her like a super smart, cerebral character because everybody else had power.
Yeah.
Arya learned how to fight. Jon knows how to fight. Bran has like his warging. So what does Sansa have? She has her mind. And being with Tyrion and everything, they were trying to make her like a super smart character.
Yeah.
But it felt like they didn't actually show her being smart. They just had Arya say, she's the smartest person I know.
Yeah.
It's like, is she? I haven't seen that at all. She's logical and she's thinking things more beyond what everybody else is. She's not just focused on throne or whatever. But it doesn't feel like the way they set her up that it paid off what everybody else was saying about her.
No, I think for these two last seasons, they went with a lot of tell, don't show. Because it's been a lot of like saying that this is the way that this person feels, and this person thinks and wants this, but we don't actually see much of it.
Oh yeah, Camilla said, she's the smartest person I know. It's like, I don't know how to use a knife. It's like, the fucking knife, Sansa.
Yeah.
Stick them with the pointy end, you fucking idiot.
Arya figured that out when she was like 9.
Yeah. But somebody brought up a good point as well, that they tried to destroy the throne, and it seems like they're going to be democratic, but then they make a king anyway, and a council made of fancy lords and names, and everybody. Yeah. Now Podrick's a knight as well, and everybody else are lords.
Yeah.
Way to break the wheel, guys. Yeah. Good job. You did it.
They I guess, I mean, okay, electing a king through a meeting is a better way than just the next in line taking over, but it's not like they still have a king that's ruling over all of them, except for the north.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know.
And Sam stood up and said stuff about democracy, and everyone laughed, like,
Yeah.
lol,
And
whatever.
then they still did it.
Yeah, isn't it just a smaller version of democracy?
It is. It's just the same thing, but the lords choose. And I guess, who chooses the lords then? I guess that's still a line of succession.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, great wheel breaking,
Yeah.
everybody.
I know. And also this whole bit about Jon going beyond the wall. Why? Where are they going? Like, where are they going to live? Because I mentioned this to you as well, and for chat, like, the whole point of the Wildlings fighting the Night's Watch for millennia or whatever, like hundreds of years at least, was that they wanted to get past the wall and live in the realms of men and farm the fertile lands or whatever. And then when they are friendly with the realms of men and the Night's Watch, they just go back to live in the tundra and the ice world.
Yeah.
It's like, what are they going to do up there? Why why not just stay in the north?
I don't get why Tormund also said, like, you have the north in you, the real north. It's
Yeah.
I know Jon lived there for a while with the Wildlings, and he kind of agreed with their sensibilities more because they were just free. But it never felt like he actually belonged up there.
I guess he did lose his virginity in the north, so maybe that's all it takes.
Maybe everything's going to melt now, and it's all like winter's actually gone or whatever.
Because the Night King's dead?
Yeah, but then it's like, yeah, but then just fucking stay south.
Yeah. No,
then you don't have the real north in you if the north's going to melt. Like, none of this makes sense.
Yeah. So I guess half of the north is empty now then, because the White Walkers took over and then died out.
Yeah. I don't know.
So why not just stay? It's so weird.
Yeah, just break down the wall.
Yeah.
Have everybody live on the one land together. Have everyone be free people. That's kind of what it was. That's why the Wildlings were the antithesis to everybody else, because they were the ones who figured it out.
Yeah.
They followed Mance, but only because they wanted to, not because they were forced to. And it felt like, oh, this is kind of what's going to happen then south. They're going to pick a king that way.
Yeah.
And they kind of did it, but still not really. Because all these people still have titles. They all still have land. Bronn got the fucking land that he was promised all this time. It's like, okay, but why doesn't anybody else get fancy lands?
Yeah.
You're still promoting elitism in this whole culture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I also wonder, how would that meeting in the Dragon's arena, how would that have played out if Bran wasn't there? Like, if he was still in King's or in Winterfell or whatever, would Tyrion just go up and was like, okay, so there's this kid Brandon, and he's like really smart and knows a lot of stuff, and he's not there, and they can't ask him. I guess they could just teleport.
He can see the future though.
Oh, that's true. So he knew he would have to be there.
And he tells a great fucking story. I stood by him. I sat next to him at the fire one time, and he told me a story. We didn't show it.
Yeah,
we told me a great
away.
fucking story.
I asked him for a story, and then we cut away, but he told me a great one.
Another fucking edit that they were just like, all the really cool shit that was supposed to happen was all between scenes.
Yeah. Basically all of the world building and all of the answers to a lot of the world building questions happened between scenes, in cuts, off screen.
Yeah. And I thought the whole point of the show was that, yes, it's all like Game of Thrones and everyone's fighting each other, but that doesn't matter because there's a bigger fight at hand. And this is the thing to show everybody that none of the politics that we're fighting over matter, because the dead are going to come and kill us all anyway. So why are we fighting over them? And then they kill them off, and I was like, okay, back to our politics.
Yep. Back to what in the end does matter, I suppose.
Yeah.
There was another thing. It's also this, where was that shot? If I can find it. When Sam comes in with the book and hands it to Tyrion, and the book is called A Song of Ice and Fire, or
his Lord of the Rings moment.
Yeah. Why is it not? I mean, I get it. I get the point of the name because Ice and Fire, Dany, and the Knights.
Roll credits.
Yeah. But wouldn't it have made more sense if it was called a Game of Thrones? Because that was what ended up being the point of it all.
Yeah.
The point wasn't the Ice and Fire after all. The Night King was just tossed aside in one episode, and the real battle was the Game of Thrones, and that was what was won at the end.
Yeah. And then Tyrion's not mentioned in it?
Yeah. Also so weird. Also just a throwaway line because they wanted a quick gag in there.
Yeah. Which I felt like this season had a lot of. There was a lot of like meme moments.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
absolutely.
Jon or Dany and Jon kissing and the dragon like staring at him like, don't you touch my mom.
Yeah.
Like those kinds of moments. But
yeah.
Tyrion should absolutely be mentioned in it. He's done so much for the realm.
And he's one of the main Lannisters. Of course he'll be mentioned.
He killed Tywin.
Yeah.
One of the greatest Lannisters that ever lived, but he's not mentioned even in a bad way.
Yeah. He's killed Tywin Lannister, and he's been Hand of the King to Joffrey and to Dany, and he's not mentioned. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
sure.
and he was the one that basically convinced Jon to kill Dany.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Such a sad ending.
And again, I feel like we need to reiterate this. We're not just curmudgeon-y old men who hate the show. We absolutely adore the show.
Well,
we loved
that's why we're so passionate about it now.
Yeah.
If we didn't like the show as much as we do, then we wouldn't care if the last season was a disappointment.
Yeah.
But the fact that they rushed it this much and set up so many things that they never paid off, that's what's the issue.
Yeah. It's like, who was the Night King? What was the Night King? Why was the Night King?
Yeah.
I get that you want to destroy mankind. Okay, cool. But you need a little more than that.
Oh, yeah. And that was what interested me so much. That's always what interests me about characters and especially antagonists. Because if you do an antagonist the right way, then you get like Thanos. You get their motivation, and you can, in a lot of moments, in a lot of their points, you can sympathize with.
Yeah, even Cersei.
Yeah, oh yeah. Cersei in the earlier seasons, like you get them and you get why they're doing what they're doing, and you want to know more about them, and you want to know their side of the story. But then the Night King shows up, and to me, I was super interested in finding out like what I was waiting for the Night King to speak. To talk to Bran when he stood right in front of him by the weirwood tree, and they were just staring at each other. I was so ready for the Night King to just start talking to Bran.
Yeah.
And then nope, he's just an evil guy who wants to kill Bran because Bran remembers things.
Yeah, he remembers the history of the world. It's like that's such a weak plot device.
Yeah. But was that the only reason? That Bran, I guess, knows how the Night King was made, so he has to die?
Yeah, the children of the forest clashed with the first men, and they didn't like them.
Why does it matter if he knows? Who cares?
So they made up the Night King to kill all people because they just disliked... It was basically a racism thing.
I guess so, yeah.
They didn't like the first men, so the children of the forest decided, we're going to create something that's going to kill them all.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it never explains why the Night King turns on the children of the forest.
No, that was just like, he just got mad. He just did a Frankenstein.
They're remotivated to help men. Then maybe they just regret what they've created.
Yeah.
And then it showed him being created with a dragonglass dagger to the heart. Cool. That's how Arya kills him. But most casual viewers won't know that. I mean, I know all the lore, and I barely put that together because nothing is set up.
Yeah,
it's like he's created with a dagger in the heart at a weirwood tree,
and that's how
he
dies. You have to undo him the same way, sure, but that's not established at all well enough in the show.
No, they said it in the behind the scenes after the episode, and then there's this symbol that he keeps putting down, like
the spirally thingy. Yeah.
And it even has it with the Umber Kid when he's burned and has the Beric Dondarrion's sword put through him. The whole symbol goes on fire. What the fuck is that symbol?
They never told. They never said anything about it. It was
Why
just,
were the first?
It was just
Why were the
cool
children of
looking.
the forest in Dragonstone drawing it on the walls
Yeah.
at the
What's
Dragon
point
Glass
of it
Cave?
at all? I don't know if that's explained in the book. If anyone in chat knows what the swirly,
Well,
twisty thing around the dead people was, what is that?
that's the problem, is that it's not in the book because the Night King's not in the book.
Well, the Night King isn't in the book, but the others are, as they're called in the book. But
Yeah, but well, I don't know then if the symbol's in it or not. But
Me
it feels
neither,
like
I
a
have no
very
idea.
Night King-y thing, since that's the symbol he was created under.
it hasn't shown up yet. Okay. It was the Targaryen symbol? No, it's not. The Targaryen symbol is the three-headed dragon. That was just a
Yeah,
swirly thing with a bunch of stuff on it.
Somebody said that the spiral is a TV original because it's Night King.
Yeah, it's not in the book, chat says here. So, all right. Well, that just makes it even worse. Because then there's no basis for it.
No, and then it's like, why did you make this character? You never do anything. Okay, I'll talk about a writing concept called Chekhov's gun, which is that it's a concept that you put something in a story that you definitely intend on using later. So you never put a gun in a scene in someone's hand if you never intend on using it.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Chekhov's gun. So you don't make a new character for the TV show to be a big bad guy just to have him do nothing. To have him have no motivation, to have anything. He's just a big boogeyman that you had because you need a driving force and a figurehead to put on posters and cups.
Yeah.
To have an opposing, you have a big good guy, one figurehead, and then you have a big bad guy, one figurehead.
Yeah.
And a bunch of little people all around it. So the generals and the bad guy are like the figureheads because we need something, because general audiences are too dumb to figure out that it's just a mindless zombie horde, which
Yeah.
is way more interesting.
Yeah, they needed a Voldemort. They needed someone to put split down the middle face on posters with Jon on one side and the Night King on one side.
Yeah.
They needed that. They needed a face on the evil. So they just made something up that looked cool.
But then it was like, okay, we actually have no idea where it's going because George hasn't told us where it's going because he doesn't have one. So we're just gonna kill him, I guess.
Yeah. So as I understand it in the books, the others, which are the White Walkers, aren't
From Lost, yes.
Yeah. They don't have a leader. Like they're just a force, right?
Yeah.
Of a mass of undead.
Yeah, because they're like winter. They're just a storm.
Yeah. So why not just go with that? I mean, you can still put scary faces on the posters. You can have the whites with their gaunt, or the White Walkers with their gaunt, like frozen faces. You just don't need, you don't need one. You could just have that be the face of the evil.
Yeah. And we're basically focusing on the last episode and how it all ended, but that episode as well, specifically, that was, as soon as that episode ended and Arya killed him, I turned to Evelyn and I was like, I didn't like that. And then everyone online was talking about how fucking great it was. And I was like, am I crazy?
Yeah.
And then it started slowly trickling out. And then that was like the first sign that the season was just going to be let down after let down and just non-exposition.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Something about Night King. It'll come back
Not
to me.
having a face on the evil. Arya killing him.
Oh, I was just going to talk about how, like, yeah, make him come down and have him speak. Because I always remember back to the first Planet of the Apes movie. Not the original, the re-series. Kind of the soft reboot of it.
Yeah.
With Caesar and everything.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in that whole trilogy is when they're like acting like apes and then Draco Malfoy pisses him off and he just stands up and like yells no at him.
Yeah.
And that's like a blood curdling moment. It's like, you can fucking talk.
I remember that scene. I skipped back because I was watching it. I didn't watch it in theaters, but I was watching it at home, and I actually skipped back to watch it over because that was a goosebump scene. So good.
Yeah. So I wanted the Night King to have a moment like that, and then give him his Thanos motivations where he like explains some things or talks, and then the audience are kind of like, oh shit, he's kind of right.
Yeah. I agree.
Otherwise, it's just, why do you exist? And he was one of the coolest characters, and I was even more disappointed because interview before it came out, they changed the actor for. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. They changed the actor from a well-known actor to one of the stunt guys. The stunt guy who did
Wait, for who?
Arthur for the Night King.
Oh, really?
So they changed the actor to the guy who did Arthur Dayne's fight scenes.
Yeah.
The guy with the double swords, who was fucking phenomenal. But they changed it to him.
I thought it was him
And
the
then
whole time, but okay, yeah.
No, they changed it after Hard Home or before Hard Home.
Okay.
And then it was like, oh, they changed him because he's going to have fight scenes. Awesome. And we need somebody who's able to do those.
Yeah.
But then it just turns out that, oh, we just did that because we didn't want to pay him union wages.
Did he use his sword ever? Did the Night King ever use his sword for anything?
This is the point I'm getting to, because I read an interview, I think it was Entertainment Weekly or some magazine like that, where they had him on the front of the cover holding his sword.
Yeah.
The only time he's ever used that is to kill the three-eyed raven, the previous one.
Yeah.
Then they showed him using that, and they talked about him being like this menacing force that was going to have like a reason for being there. He had that hard home scene with Jon where he stared him down. It's like super cool scene. Then they're like, he's going to have another scene like that in season 8, and it's going to be even better. Like, you did the exact same scene. He showed up, he stood at Jon, raised his arms, all the dead raised. It was the exact same scene.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about? And they came south and died in the first battle they ever did south of the wall.
Yeah.
The wall's destroyed. First time ever in history. Big deal.
He's had thousands of years to train and prepare and get good.
He one-shot the dragon.
Yeah. And then they don't even consider the fact that maybe if everyone that knows everything about us is in Winterfell, maybe we should just avoid Winterfell for now and just like spread a little bit and get more people and then like surround them. But no.
Yeah.
They just walk up and die.
The generals didn't even fight.
Yeah.
The general White Walkers, well, the actual White Walkers, the zombies are whites.
Yeah. Which is super confusing, but yes.
The White Walkers only ever fought Jon once at Hardhome.
Yeah.
And then the Night King used his sword icicle once.
And barely. One of them fought Jon at Hardhome. The other ones just stood up and watched.
Yeah.
Such a
and they
waste.
made such... It would have been so cool if the Night King was there like, Dragonfire's not going to kill him, which we also speculated between each other because he walked through it at the ice scene where he killed Viserion.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe he won't actually be harmed by fire. Then it shows him breathing fire and you're like, that's not going to work, obviously, because of the previous scene where you said like no one's ever tried. And then have Arya show up. I think maybe you put it in your video where she like stabs him.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe we're just talking about it. Like stab him, have the dagger not work. Suddenly Valyrian steel doesn't even work against him because we need the dragon glass.
Yeah. Well, also, I was going to say something. Stab him, fire. Oh yeah. So if Bran can see the future, if he can see the future, then why would his answer to does Dragonfire harm him be no one's ever tried? If you can see the future, then you know they're gonna try and that it won't work.
Or at least you'll have seen someone else's information somewhere.
Yes.
But they always fall back on the trope of Bran being like, he knows everything, but he needs to know where to look.
He knows things when it's convenient for the story, basically.
He's a giant deus ex machina.
Yeah. And I get that it's hard to write that stuff because, well, Bran basically messes everything up if he just knows everything. But don't put him in that position then where he's always around or like where he has the ability to just tell people. Like, just make something else happen with him.
He can't see the future, only bits of it. Well, we were arguing about that earlier. Well, it's never really made clear either.
Exactly.
They kind of hint that he can, but
that's the thing that's so ambiguous. Where and like even if a lot of this stuff is explained in the lore or in the books or whatever, like I don't think personally, at least to me, that stuff doesn't matter. Because you need to be able to view the show as a whole. You need to be able to look at just the show and understand everything.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that, and that goes for everything. A lot of that stuff with Star Wars is the same, where it's like, well, in the extended universe, you get to know that this and this and this happens. It's like, well, yeah, but that doesn't count. Because if you're just watching the movies, then you don't get that info. Same in video games. If you don't get the information in the game, then you can't consider it to be like part of that canon. Then it's the book canon or whatever. It's like a writing sin that the audience should never like be withheld from information that the characters know unless it serves a
or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the specifics of it, but otherwise it just ends up making the audience feel dumb for not knowing things that they were never given information about.
Mm.
And the idea that they're teasing with Bran maybe seeing the future in the show. I think people said in the books it's explained that he can't actually see the future, just the past. But they also toy with the aspect that the Night King maybe sees the future.
Oh, yeah.
Because he waits for the dragon and Daenerys to show up, and then he has the spears and the chains ready.
Yeah. Do they talk about that in the show at all?
That he can see the future?
Yeah.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, yeah.
They barely ever talk about the Night King. They just say that he's bad and he's able to raise the dead.
he's just a convenient thing when they need something to argue about.
Yeah.
He just...
Because Bran could see where he was supposed to go. He didn't warg into anything to see where the Three-Eyed Raven's tree was.
Yeah, yeah.
So and then when he touched one of the trees, I think it showed him the flash that Daenerys saw of King's Landing burning or the dragon flying over everything. So he kind of can see some of the future.
Yeah, sometimes. I guess, is it when he's touching a tree? Or when he's hooking up to the network?
I think that's what it is, yeah. And people were saying that he won't... People were like, why doesn't he just plan against Cersei by going down and seeing? But they made a point to talk about how all the weirwood trees were cut down in the south. So then it's like, oh, okay, so he's cut off from there. He has no, nodes down there that he can, tap into. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. So his powers are, limited to it. But again, they don't really explain this shit. And I'm one who loves ambiguity. I know you hate it. You like things neatly wrapped up.
Yeah. Well, most of the things, the major plot threads anyway, yeah. Yeah,
but I fucking love ambiguity. Like, some of my favorite pieces of, media have some really ambiguous endings that you don't really know what's going on, but there's enough information there that you can kind of something out. But this one, it felt like it just didn't give you even enough to be ambiguous.
Yeah. No, it was just... This is ambiguity to the extreme, where it's like it doesn't make sense, because you can have things be ambiguous, sure, but there has to be this is probably what happened. This would make sense if this is what was going on all along.
Yeah.
But here there's nothing like that. It's too random. It's just too much all over the place.
It's just ambiguous because they don't have the information. Most things that are ambiguous have, some of the, I'll take Shadow of the Colossus, for example, because that's a super ambiguous kind of ending. But they give you enough information, it feels like Fumito Ueda has the whole thing. He knows what it is.
Yeah.
And then he pairs away and figures out just enough of what to give you, so you have enough to string you along and tie you along, and you can start making up things with hints that are there.
Yeah.
But this one, it felt like they were hinting that there's more, but they don't know what it is, so they're just whittling it down, and they can't even explain it even if they wanted to.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's not ambiguity, it's just lack of information.
Yeah, like chat said also, it's not ambiguous, it's empty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
And for a series that had incredible depth to it,
yeah,
suddenly having it feel empty and everything teleporting all over the place it just feels really...
Yeah, that was the most impressive part of the whole show, is how clever it was. And they took that part away.
Yeah.
Because I guess D&D just wasn't clever enough when it came down to it.
Or didn't care.
Or just wanted to move on to Star Wars.
Just took too much time to figure it out.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you still have my end of the stream up, but this shot of the grass growing out of the snow when they are passing the wall, was that supposed to mean anything? Because
I think that's what people were saying, that the snow is melting because winter's gone, because the White Walkers are dead.
So okay, so is that supposed to be what's confirmed then, that the winter is over? Because
summer's coming to the north for the first time, because the White Walkers are never defeated before. They were just sent back and held back by the wall.
But isn't winter supposed to last for 6 years?
Well,
do they not have seasons anymore?
Isn't that because of White Walkers and magic, that the winter was lasting a long time because it's more than just the season?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. It could very well be. I don't know.
Again, it still makes no sense. It's like you've got the true north in you. It's like, yeah, but now it's not the true north that you know it as, that you've all grown up with, because it's.
But then also,
it's changing into the south, basically.
If that's the case, then that the Night King makes the long winter happen, then why does he only make it happen for like 6 years at a time, and then he lets it be summer for 6 years? And also, how was he able to do that if they were asleep for thousands of years?
I don't know. There's a whole area north called the Land of Everwinter, or Always Winter.
Land of Always Winter, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's where they live. So I guess it just like permeates south, but can't go past. No, they can't
every
go
now
past
and
the
then
wall.
it just sort of makes a push for it.
Yeah, but they can't get past the wall because there's magic blocking them out. But then when you put the mark on Bran, the seal is broken.
I guess so, maybe, yeah.
So that stuff is a little still up in the air, but I think it still kind of makes sense.
Yeah, sure, I can see that. I just don't know what they're going for, but that works for me, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody brought up that the Lord of Light was pointless.
Yeah. They just brush him off and saying like, oh, he never reveals his plans. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like he was super relevant because he brought Jon back and he brought Beric Dondarrion back so many times, and then suddenly it's like, okay, now we're done.
Yep.
And what happened with the other red priestesses that came to see Daenerys that time?
She was there for that one episode, and then she never showed up again.
Yeah.
And that was really weird. I thought that Melisandre was like the one, but it seems like they just have a covenant of red priestesses.
Yeah. Why show that at all if you weren't going to do anything with it? I thought all of them were going to like show up with Melisandre.
Yeah. Or was that supposed to be Melisandre and they just couldn't get the actress? I don't know. It was such a bizarre thing. So are there just red priestesses still around, or did they just like all die when she took off her necklace?
I guess so. And it basically confirms that the Lord of Light is the one true God, because he's the only one who's shown tangential evidence.
Yeah, he's the only one who's actually ever done anything.
Or maybe Lord of Light is because they talk about magic coming back to the realm, and that spurs the dragon eggs.
Yeah.
And magic just keeps getting stronger, and that's why the Night King's army magic in the realm is just getting much stronger.
Yeah.
Because Qyburn talked about that as well. That's why he was able to bring back the mountain.
Oh yeah, magic coming back into the world and growing towards the end of the season or to the end of the show has always been there, and that I like that part.
Yeah,
that it's all growing and growing and coming to like a culmination.
So it's like, well, maybe the Lord of Light isn't real. Maybe they just have magic, but it's like placebo effect that they think it's the Lord of Light when really it's just magic is so strong in the area now that you're able to bring people back to life.
Yeah. Also, so
I don't know.
This represents the show. Dany here represents the show. Does that mean then that Jon was the prince that was promised?
Yeah, Azor Ahai.
Yeah, to kill Dany.
Well, he never took the sword out and made Lightbringer, so
no.
Maybe that's the ambiguity, that if he pulled it out, it would have been on fire. But
also, this shot I found hilarious when the dragon picks her up. It's like, what is that? Is that a does he have hands? Is that a toe? How is he doing that with just the one? Where is the rest of?
Yeah, how's he bending his foot that way?
I don't know. And then, oh no, it's just. I guess it's just his foot. But that was a hilarious scene. I giggled at that one. It just looks so dopey when he's just like, I'm just gonna take her now. Bye. Whoop.
Yeah.
Here you go. Whoop.
If magic and bringing people back to life and everything is still a thing, then technically it's left open that she could be brought back by the Red Priestesses.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Unless magic is dead now, or because the Night King's dead or something, I don't know.
Well, so does that mean that Drogon's gonna die? If magic isn't... Where is he going?
He is the true north in him.
Oh, I guess so. Awkward.
I have no
Jon
idea.
shows up in the north and Drogon's just there with Dany. Oh.
Drogon's like, dude, come on. Everywhere I go, man.
Just leave us alone. I just want to
Let me
grieve.
bury my mom. Yeah, somebody brought up the point. It's like, why does Bran need a Lord of Whispers when he can see everything?
True. Maybe I want this spin-off. I want this spin-off show. Drogon on his own adventures.
Yeah, or I want Tormund, Ghost, and Jon.
Yeah. The Tormund spin-off show. That I want to see that.
I want to see Davos' a spin-off.
Davos' smuggling adventures.
Yeah.
Why not? Get a Han Solo prequel with Davos.
So dope.
Want to see what Arya gets up to? Yes, chat. That is, to me, actually one of the more interesting potential plots, because I was just today I was looking into what is west of Westeros. Like what does the lore say anything of what would be there? And there has been apparently a story of I forget her name now, but there was a story about a lady who was like basically like Arya. She was like a warrior kind of rebellious kind of girl, and she didn't want to be a lady of anything. She wanted adventure, and she wanted to sail places, and she hooked up with a Targaryen queen or something, and they were like in love, and they had a little bit of a relationship, and she ended up using this lady's resources to build her own ship, unbeknownst to the lady, and basically bolted and took the money and ran. And she sailed west as far as you could go, together with two other ships. One of the ships returned after like a couple of years, and they said that, we did find a couple of weird islands way far away, but we didn't want to go further, so we bolted and went back home. But apparently this mysterious adventurous lady kept going past those islands, and there was a story told that someone in like Essos, way on the other side of the world, had seen the ship again, implying that they circumnavigated the globe, and came back on the other side of the world. And I don't remember how this connected all together, but somehow that remember this lady in one of the seasons where when Daenerys was in Koth, there was this lady with gold plate mask all over her face, so you couldn't see who it was.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
I don't remember her name, but there was like a lady with like a weird metal mask all over her face that just gives like cryptic hints.
She was like Dothraki season, right?
Yes, and it was then thought or assumed or theorized that this lady was that girl who sailed Quaith.
Yeah.
It was theorized that person was this adventure girl from 250 years past, and that she discovered immortality or something, because that's why she had a bunch of knowledge and could give them a bunch of clues. That story seems very interesting to me. I want to know more about that. Like that shit I love, when it's like it's ambiguous in terms of there could be all these things and there are theories. It doesn't like really necessarily has anything, it doesn't have anything to do with the main plot of Game of Thrones, but it's in the world.
Yeah.
And I want to know more about that. Like if there are other crazy worlds to the west, and then you circle back around and you come back into Essos, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I would love if she was like, "What's west of Westeros?" It's like, you just end up on the other side of Essos.
Yeah, it's just like a couple of days travel, and then it's like no one bothered. That's why the maps end, because they've never seen a globe. They've just seen a map. It's like it just connects to the other side, you idiot.
She's like, "What's west of Westeros?" Like, you'll fall off the earth.
Yeah,
it's flat.
It's flat. No, apparently that was in this video as well, that George R.R. Martin has confirmed that the world in Game of Thrones is a globe.
Okay.
So he has confirmed that.
She sails to Middle Earth and meets Gandalf.
Oh yeah. Hey, there's a crossover.
Well, there's 3 prequels being made, isn't there?
something like that.
They confirmed one of them as something, but I think the other two are left open so far. I'm not sure.
As far as I'm aware, they're filming one now, and there's gonna be maybe that is the one that's gonna be about the Long Night.
Maybe
because they're doing a prequel. As far as I know, they're doing one prequel that's set 1,000 years before Game of Thrones, and it's about the creation of the Night King and the White Walkers and the Long Night.
Ooh.
So that sounds interesting, but maybe that'll tie up some loose ends that were left open in Game of Thrones. I don't know.
Maybe.
But that could be interesting. If they're going to do prequels, I do like that they're not like, oh yeah, we're going to see what young Ned Stark did on his wacky adventures. Like, just remove it from the main cast. Just set it somewhere else with someone else completely. Like, nothing to do with the story of Game of Thrones. Just the same world.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Go like 1,000,000 years into the future.
When they all have hover horses.
Yeah, and it's just like cyberpunk Game of Thrones.
Yes. Drones instead of dragons. A game of drones.
Drone gone.
Oh, no. That would work. I would watch that.
The prequel is set about 5,000 years prior? Jesus,
Maybe that's it. It's a long-ass time, yeah. TM, chat. Game of Drones. Coin.
I want to see Robert's Rebellion. fucking Bobby B. I love that he's Reddit's favorite character. So they keep like memeing him, being like, gods, I was strong then.
If they just let him rule, then everything would have been basically fine.
Yeah. Oh, Game of Thrones, what happened?
Yeah.
You were the chosen one, meme picture.
You were the one who were going to change the landscape of television.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it did.
For a bit.
The budget and the visuals of it are far beyond what any other TV show has ever done.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, even up until this point, you can't fault the production value of it because it looks insane, except for the Long Night. But apparently, we're the ones in fault there.
Dude, just adjust your TV.
Yeah. I know it wasn't too dark because I'm the one who shot it.
Yeah.
That was, by the way, a quote from the cinematographer of that episode. He said in an interview that, I know it's not too dark because I'm the one who shot it. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yes. Yeah, but there has to be a reason why it was too dark. Maybe it was like the encoding or the stream or internet or whatever you did after that. Maybe it was fucked up.
Yeah, maybe it was the editor. Maybe it was the color grading. That was just they meant to put it at 50%, but they put it on 100. It's like, oops, we've already rendered the episode.
Seems to be a common pattern with people who are on the show getting criticism for it and then saying like, it's all your fault. I shot it and it was fine.
Yeah.
The D&D writers even said that they're not going on the internet for a whole day during the finale. They're going away somewhere to get away from everybody and get drunk.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. You know your show's good when you don't want to see
when you don't want to listen to criticism.
To the ending.
Yeah, exactly. When you don't even want to see not because you're like, oh, the criticisms, we don't want to see all the negative shit people say, because I mean, I can understand that from a certain point because there's going to be a lot of negativity on the internet and I get wanting to avoid that. Yeah. But if you're not even excited to see people's reaction to your finale, then you know it's bad. Because then you know that it's just going to be negative, right? Yeah.
I hope that like the actors and the VFX team and everybody know that everyone who's complaining is a place of love. There is obviously a bunch of people who are like, I wanted Dany to be on the throne and I'm sad.
Yeah.
But I hope they know that it's like everyone who's criticizing it aren't like, I'm saying something's bad just because I want to appear interesting. It's like shitting on something to try and have some sort of like reaction to it at all.
And I think now a lot of people are doing that in the opposite way. And that those kinds of people are on both sides because now a lot of people are defending it just because it's popular to shit on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I get that there's a lot of people who are upset and who are discussing or like complaining and defending the wrong aspects, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
It's that
And you can
it's not consistent.
Yeah. If this was the level of the show the entire time, I don't think anyone would have cared. But it's because they set up like 4 or 5 years of all this incredible storytelling, an incredible world and lore, and they've proven that they can do incredible things with it, like Battle of the Bastards and Hard Home and all those episodes, the Loot Train attack, all of those things are fucking dope.
Yeah.
But then this one was just like rushing through it to get to their plot points.
Yeah.
And some of the writers, because it's not just D&D who write it.
Oh no, yeah.
Some of the writers last season said that the reason people are teleporting all over the place and we're skipping this stuff is because we want to get to the drama more than anything.
Yeah.
So they basically said that like we're cutting out pieces for the sake of drama. And then that really spilled into this one. And it showed that the people making it, like some aspect of it, just there was no care put into it. There was 3 continuity errors in this one season alone where there were 0 in any of the Starbucks cup. There was a bottle in last night's one, and Jaime's hand not being gold in that one scene.
Yeah. I'm sure there were other mistakes as well that we haven't picked up. I mean, errors like that where things aren't the same from one shot to another, that always happens. But having like bottles and cups and props missing, that's lazy. That you can only say that you can only say that that's sloppy.
And because it kept happening in a season where everyone was criticizing them caring, it just looked even worse.
Oh yeah. And obviously that is not on D&D. That's on the prop department or the whatever the person is called that checks for continuity. I don't know what they have a name. They have a title. But generally, everyone who's involved in the production should have seen that. I don't know. I don't know how. What?
People were saying Jaime's hand wasn't in the episode. It was the other shot of the same scene. I'm not sure what you mean.
I don't know what that
Jaime's
means.
hand wasn't in the scene, just a picture.
What?
Huh. Either way, there was an error with the hand.
Well, yeah, there's shot when he's hugging Cersei in the map room, and he's holding his hand on the back of her, on her back, and you can see that it's not a golden hand.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I guess they just figured that his hand wouldn't show up in the shot, so they didn't bother putting the prosthetic on, and then it did show up in the shot anyway.
Oh, it was a promo shot that it happened. It wasn't actually in the episode. Ah, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still a mistake, but yeah.
Yeah, it's at least they've realized that one and fixed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bottle and maybe Sam was just doing the fucking bottle flip challenge.
Maybe Bran was doing it. He was seeing the future and he's like, we got to get in on that in the last episode.
Yeah, they were like, this is how we choose the king, and they just flip a bottle and dab.
I also think that this ending shot of them just sort of lazily riding off into the forest is pretty weak.
Yeah.
I don't know. This didn't feel like an epic like conclusion to an era. Because the final shot is something that lingers in your mind when
the first and the last.
Yeah, when the episode is over.
Yeah, and that's why there's a lot of comparisons to Lost with this. Lost used to be my absolute favorite show ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably still is. And that also had the same problem as it has 6 seasons.
Yeah.
First 4 are amazing. Everything else is shit.
Yep.
Well, shit in quotes.
Well, in relation to what it was before.
Yeah, and it's also in the same vein that they set up a lot of things and never answered half of them.
Yeah.
But even that got the last scene right, because it starts with Jack on the beach opening up with his eye, and the last shot is a reverse of that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I watched Lost seasons 1 and 2, and then I sort of fell off it, and then I watched the last episode, and I was so confused.
They were dead the whole time.
Yeah, apparently so. I will say though, just because I was clicking through the episode, I love the fact that when they were flying through the scenery in the episode, the models are broken.
Yeah.
Like
They
Winterfell
kept changing per episode.
Yeah, like Winterfell is all torn down and like shit can't like connect properly because like it's all like broken like this.
Yeah.
Such a cool little detail that they didn't need to do, but very, very nice. That was very cool.
No, chat, I'm aware that they weren't dead the entire time in Lost. That was just the joke that went around because people didn't get it.
That's the what's it called? Sixth Sense joke. He was dead the whole time. They were dead the whole time. It was just a dream. Oh,
Sean, dabbing is dead. Let it go, bro. Well, so were the characters in the episode.
It was dead the whole time.
Yeah, I was going to tweet out. It's like, doesn't matter if a bunch of characters didn't die this episode because the character arcs have been dead since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they
but
died.
I knew people would just be mad at
long
me.
ago. Also, there is one shot that I found very, in retrospect, kind of hilarious because there's a shot not in this episode, but in episode 5 where Drogon is flying around the Red Keep and they fly through a tower, making the tower collapse.
Yeah.
But Dany's on Drogon's back. Wouldn't she just smash into all of the debris and just get like squished off of his back? Because he's flying through a tower. I just want that scene to like just like end with him landing and there's just like a hand left on his on the reins, like on the steering wheel in Jurassic Park 2. And there's no Dany left. There's just a hand holding on. It's like, oh, whoops. Maybe we shouldn't fly through things.
Somebody pointed out as well, there's one of the scenes where Drogon flying over, they paused it and Dany isn't even on his back.
Oh, really?
Like they didn't even CG her in.
Yeah.
I mean, that can be forgiven because it's in a split second.
Oh, yeah. Just...
What do you think of Clegane Bowl? I thought that was good.
I mean, I didn't have any objections to it. I also just didn't really... It wasn't something I was longing... Yeah, I didn't care. It wasn't something I was longing for. I did find it a little bit weird that the mountain seemed to remember Sandor.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was just like a mindless zombie, but I didn't have a problem with it. Like, it was fine.
Yeah, I like... It kind of goes with his arc that he died in fire, the thing he was most fearful of, and revenge is not something that is attainable. Like, you never get your revenge. It's always something that's unattainable, so... But that scene gave us the best Cersei moment of all time.
When she just tiptoes.
Qyburn just got like one shot wrecked.
Yeah, he was
like
just
a level 1 character versus a level 100 mafia boss.
Yeah.
But her just like scuttling away, like, so I'll just see you later. You guys have fun.
The weird. Wait, hang on. I'm gonna see if I can can I do that?
The Mountain was harder to kill than the Night King. A lot of characters were harder to kill than the Night King.
Let's see if I can find
this unending force that was the scariest presence Westeros has ever seen, that went above all other things and took pure priority, was killed by one person.
Yeah. It was
I mean, technically not, but
I think they say that as well, or someone pointed that out, that now Dany is the most lethal character in all of Game of Thrones. Like, she's the one that has killed the most, by far, the most people.
Yeah.
Which I find kind of hilarious, to be honest. Sorry, chat. I'm rearranging some windows on my thing.
What about the Golden Company just being there for absolutely no reason at all? They were the most useless plot point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They were. I don't think they killed one single person.
No, it's because they didn't have the elephants.
That's true. They needed that. I want to see that shot of Cersei tiptoeing, and you opened up the other episode. Yeah, and him getting smashed in the against the rocks. This moment I really loved when Arya called him Sandor.
Yeah. I can't hear it on my end, so. Sandor.
Aww.
Perfect.
You almost nailed it.
Did I?
Yeah, almost. Let's see. Where was that? There, here we go. Smack. Oh no! There he goes. Let's do it again.
He just gets fucked.
I wanna wait. Can we? What's the button to frame by frame it? Here we go. Bwah. Oh, splat. Icky. And then tosses him like a wet noodle.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's just there. Poor guy. And then her best moment. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna. Excuse me. I'll go off to the side.
Yeah.
Don't worry. There's a bit of a rumble there. Bye.
You guys go.
Okay,
You guys
see you
fight
later.
each other. Okay, he's not looking at me. Okay, cool.
bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh yeah, Qyburn got fucking yeeted.
This, I don't know. I feel like this is too. It's too perfect, too cinematic. But I don't know.
Game Bowl.
Yeah, with the dragons flying over and the fire just out. Like it's such a perfect moment, but I get it. I didn't mind it.
I'm just kind of sad that where it took place, like on stairs,
Yeah.
it doesn't really feel like the best place for it. I mean, they made it work. It's just I think in my head, I just pictured it differently.
Yeah. It was kind of a cool moment. Although, this was confusing to me. I thought that all of the wildfire was gone, but I guess they just had more?
Well, the wildfire in the city was something the Mad King did, but I don't think they ever talked about getting rid of it. I think it was just always still there.
I thought that was the wildfire that they stacked up for the sept blowing up.
No, I think they made new wildfire for that.
Oh, okay. So that was just obviously, yeah. I was just under the influence that was lost. But okay.
I wonder if wildfire would even kill them,
That's true.
the
Oh, yeah.
White Walkers.
Wait, can we see? Nothing else matters. So, okay, chat, if you haven't actually seen the episode, remember before when we were showing off Jaime's hand just sticking out of rubble? This is the rubble that Tyrion could just like casually walk under or over, I guess. Let's see if this shot of everything just collapsing. Again, it's a little bit dark.
Yeah, I'm
But
putting
that's
the squad stream link in the chat again, so anybody who doesn't see what he's talking about.
So this is what happened. You can see that everything is coming down. The whole building, everything is coming. That's not a thin layer of bricks. That's the whole building.
No, that's whole archways.
Yeah.
People were saying they should have hid under an archway, but there's something about but they realized that all arcs were dead anyway.
I get it.
Oh,
And then, okay, so, oops. Why does it?
you just got rid of everything. You're bad
Yeah,
at
I
this.
did. No, but the thing is, when I try to go to a new episode, it like rescales everything, so it doesn't line up with my windows anymore.
You're really bad at the super fancy things that you have that I don't. You're really bad at the super extra effort you went into to make your stream better.
I mean, I didn't plan on skipping around in episodes, but then we started talking about other shit. I'm just gonna line it up again. Don't worry about it. I'll be
What's
fine.
the Rotten Tomatoes score of the episode?
I don't know. You look at something. You do something for once.
I am, but I don't want to. I don't think my thing's set up
Okay, anyway.
to show my screen.
Yeah, so
wait.
remember that whole collapse scene? Oh no, it's fine. It's just this now. That's all there is. That's all there was. No problem. We can just casually waltz through. Look, it's no problem. The archers are still standing anyway. Even the archers
Okay.
didn't fall down in the end.
Okay, chat. What do you think the score is? Without going to Rotten Tomatoes, what do you think? See if I can see season 8. So season 8 has been the worst performing season of Game of Thrones history. The first episode is 92, then it went down to 88, then 75, then 58. And then the Bells episode, the second last one, has 47%.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that the finale has more.
Okay. You're right in that regard.
Okay. What did you say?
It has more than 47%.
I'm gonna say 62.
55.
Oh, okay. I gave it too much credit.
So it's the second worst reviewed episode in all of Game of Thrones history.
Deservedly so. I think the long night was more disappointing to me personally. Because that was the biggest like plot point that I was the most interested in, the Night King.
Yeah. I think because after that episode, I literally didn't give a shit about any characters anymore.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody was fighting, I was like, if they die, who cares?
Yeah. I love that.
Which is sad because I fucking love the show and I love the characters. And to suddenly have it be, I don't care what happens to anybody.
Newt. Yeah, no, that was why I also decided to just listen to the spoilers because like I don't care anymore. I'm not invested.
Yeah.
What a shame. I feel bad for the actors. They can't. I don't think that all of them are happy with this.
No.
The only one that I've seen speak out pretty candidly about it was what's his face who played Varys. Because I
don't know his real name.
Me neither. But I don't know if you've read interviews with him.
No.
Because he's basically said that when he read the end of Varys, he took it as a personal insult. Conleth Hill, that's him. Thank you. He took it as he felt like he had failed the show, and he felt like he had failed the show and failed the character, and he was sort of like embarrassed about how his character ended up, and he took it personally, like he didn't know what he had done wrong to deserve that ending. It's like, oh man, and that he felt that for the past 2 seasons that his character had been done a disservice, and that obviously I guess he didn't want to shit talk, but he said that the last seasons weren't his favorite. It's like, man, I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, Sir Barristan, the guy who plays him, also said that he was kind of disappointed that his character wasn't getting to do the things he was going to do.
Yeah.
Maisie Williams just said on Twitter, just here for the memes. So, Raleigh Ritchie, who plays Grey Worm, wrote, he just had hi and then a gif of somebody holding up a sign saying, please don't hate me.
Wasn't there someone had asked him what he thought about the petition? Because there's a petition now. After episode 3 or 4, I think someone started a petition. I think just for fun or just to sort of express their views. I don't think anyone actually thought that this is going to happen, but someone made a petition that they're gonna for HBO to remake all of season 8, and it has like over 1 million signatures by now. It's not going to happen, but someone asked Jacob Anderson what he thought about that, and he just said, well, like, that's a shame, and then he just took off. Like, oh. It's like, good. Yeah. He didn't like refute it or like try to argue with it or defend the shows. Like, yeah, I think he knows.
Isaac Hempstead Wright, who plays Bran, he said that it was absurd. He said, I can't even fathom it. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people think they can just demand a different ending because they don't like it. I have stupidly taken it quite personally, which obviously I shouldn't.
Well, exactly. I feel so bad for the actors because they're the ones that are getting a lot of shit for this, and they're the ones that are basically the least at fault.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to do with this.
He said the fact that people are pissed off and having a big emotional response successful, it doesn't do what everyone wants them to do.
Yeah.
Except it just became cliche.
Yeah.
It's like it isn't what it used to be.
Yeah, and it's not about people not doing the things you want them to do. It's people not doing the things that are consistent with her character.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that. It's like subverting expectations is fine, but it needs to be within character.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that is one thing that Benioff and Weiss said in one of these behind the scenes making of the Throne episodes as well. And I mentioned this to you as well, but they said that they didn't want to do what people expected.
Yeah.
Because that would be too predictable or too like cliche or whatever. But
Yeah.
like doing the opposite just for the sake of it is just as bad, because then you're just doing then you're doing things purely to be unexpected and not because it makes sense.
Yeah.
And even George R.R. Martin has said this in talks and interviews in the past, that if you set up a story to where the butler did it, and then you read online that someone has figured out that the butler did it, so you change your story to that the maid did it, then all of your clues and all of your lead up to that point becomes dead ends and pointless. And it feels like this is the way they did it with the show.
Yeah, it's almost like they did it as like a middle finger to the fans. Like, fuck you guys, you don't know.
Yeah, kind of, right?
It's like, obviously people were going to predict what an ending is going to be because they have predicted every single
when you
every
have
single like eventuality that could happen.
Exactly.
So obviously somebody was going to be right.
When you have millions and millions of people watching, obviously someone's going to get it by happenstance.
Yeah, but then because everyone has guessed everything, the only place to go then to not do the expected is to go in a completely stupid direction that doesn't make any sense. Which is exactly what they did.
Dany PogChamp, yeah, you're right, Zeke.
You should make an emote out of that.
Oh yeah, I gotta do that. We gotta do that,
Pog.
chat. That's the next emote we're getting, is Dany Pog.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's also there's an episode way early, like season 2 or like something crazy early, where Melisandre tells Arya that she's gonna shut eyes, brown, green, blue eyes.
Yeah.
But I think she says green, blue, brown. Like she says it in some order, that she's gonna shut these eyes. But she says that to Arya way before the showrunners had decided that they wanted it to be Arya that kills the Night King. So when she says that, they didn't have this plan. And then when Melisandre repeats that prophecy in the Long Night episode, they changed the order she says that, so that they put blue at the end, so that it would seem like it makes more sense, because the blue are the last ones she will close. Like, you can't, now you're retconning your own predictions just to fit into your own narrative.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, they also fucked up like a simple thing at one point in the episode after the Long Night. They talked about Gendry becoming a lord of Storm's End.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're a bastard, so your name was Gendry Rivers. But people pointed out that in Game of Thrones lore, he would be Gendry Waters and not Gendry Rivers.
Yeah.
And that was also another, it's like, I wouldn't catch that. I'm not that into it.
Yeah.
And that would just go over my head. But it just shows that the people who are writing this stuff don't even get the basic logic that the world follows by.
Yeah, they're not doing the research enough to care. Like, oh, he'd be that probably, and then they just write it like that.
Yeah, I mean, general audiences won't know anyway. I didn't even know, and I'm super into it. But at the same time, it's a smaller piece to a bigger puzzle of like the Starbucks cup being in the same episode and the bottles. It's like, it's a lot of these things where it's like, did you actually care about what you were making?
Yeah.
Or did you work people so much to the bone that they made these mistakes? Because it's in all these episodes that came after shooting something for 55 nights.
Yeah.
It's like, of course, mistakes are going to happen because you're beating people into the ground with your work ethic.
Yeah. Here's the actual quote by Benioff or Weiss, saying, quote, "Jon Snow has always been the savior, but it just didn't feel right to us in the moment. So it's probably 3 years now we've known that it was going to be Arya who delivers the final blow." So they didn't have that plan from the start. They just decided a couple years ago that it doesn't feel right that it's Jon. Let's just make it Arya. So that wasn't like that wasn't a plan that they had forever. They just didn't feel like Jon should probably not be it. That's too predictable. Let's just do Arya instead.
Yeah.
I don't mind it being Arya, but not like that. That's the complete wrong motivation for it.
Arya got the training, and if anything, she's probably a better. She's better at that than Jon is. Maybe not on one-to-one fighting. Actually, she's pretty fucking good at that as well.
Oh yeah.
But it's just everything around that. Arya has no connection to White Walkers until that episode. Only the fact that she's around it and it's happening.
She's living, so she's part of their team.
And then suddenly it's like she's the one who gets to have the final blow on the huge big bad without really anyone's help.
Yeah, someone was saying that as well. Like, did Jon even know what happened? Because they cut from Arya killing the Night King to everyone just celebrating, and Arya isn't even there. So we don't get to see their reaction to Arya killing the Night King. But from Jon's perspective, he stands up, he shouts at the dragon, and it just collapses and everyone dies. It's like, did I just shout that dragon? I
yelled a dragon to death.
Yeah. That's what he must have thought.
Dany's like, okay, and now a toast to the person who saved us all.
And Jon is like,
we are,
ready
of course,
to get
talking
up.
about, and he's like standing up. It's like, Arya Stark. He's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But I yelled him to death.
I shouted at him and he collapsed. That must have been it. No. Yeah, he rode at it.
There's a lot of that. I mean, not Arya's one, because there was people there to witness it, but there was a lot of that. Like, Bran does things. We'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Jon killed Daenerys, but the dragon flew off of her body, so no one actually knows that he did that.
Yeah.
He could have told them, but then they're probably like, well, why would you kill her?
Did he just do that? Did he just go up to Grey Worm and be like, hey, Grey Worm, so awkward thing just happened, but
she slipped and fell on her own shears.
Oh, yeah. I was just showing her my new cool dagger, and she just fell on the ice.
I was playing rock, paper, scissors, but I took it too seriously.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, shouldn't it be like, nah, she just left. She was just like, you know what? Throne's not that cool looking. I thought it'd be 1,000 blades. It's only like 20.
Yeah.
I'm out.
It's like, I thought it'd be bigger. I'm out. Maybe.
It's like, I didn't mean to. I was throwing my knife at the wall and she got in the way.
I'm just going to swing my knife around, and if you go into it, then it's your own fault. Oh, whoops.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I'm just going to sit on this throne.
Yeah. That's it.
Fly away.
She sat on the throne, and it stuck her because it's made out of swords. Whoopsies.
Whoops.
I don't know.
Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience. Super easy. Whoopsie.
This fucking show. The whole way through it, the show had started in like 10 minutes, and Robin texted me, he was like, it's already really stupid.
Yeah. That was when they found the hand. It was like, this is already dumb.
Every time something happened, I just like sat in my chair bouncing up and down, slapping my legs, going, oh, dumb!
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't even sit on the throne. I kind of like that.
I do like that as well. Yeah. That she didn't actually sit down even once. She did touch it, because they had that, like, didn't she have she had a preview, premonition kind of thing of her walking in there, and before she put her hand on the throne, she didn't, and then she went off to Drogon.
Drogo. So
and then they replayed that, and this time she actually put her hand on it. I did like that. That was cool.
Yeah. So the whole thing that was happening in that premonition in the end was that she was seeing the premonition of like snow fall on the thing, and that actually happened, but it's also symbolism for Jon Snow falling on her reign, that he's kind of like raining or he's shitting all over her potential. So she goes in and she sees everything's destroyed. She sees the dragon flying over King's Landing and everything. And then when she goes to do it, she hears Khal Drogo. But when she goes outside, it's super sunny and it's a tent, because that's the Dothraki afterlife.
Yeah.
Because they have endless plains that they can roam around. Yeah. So it's her seeing her own future of her dying in the throne and then going to the afterlife to be with her kid and her ex. Yeah. And the snow, it looked like the snow that was falling was ashes, because I said that too. I was like, oh, it's not snow, it's ash, because she destroyed everything. But it turns out it was snow, because Drogon is like lying underneath snow.
Yeah.
And because that was what confused me. I'm like, snow is falling in King's Landing at the end of season 7. It's finally here.
This is totally
season
snow.
8 starts
right here on my stream now. This is totally snowing. This is not ash.
Yeah. Then season 8 starts. There's no snow at King's Landing, and then the final episode, there's snow again.
Yeah. And also, well, I mean, that's because they relocated all of King's Landing. Remember? Because it used to be on the port by a forest, and now it's in the middle of the desert, right?
Yeah. So stupid. People pointing out that it is ash. I mean, it's white. It's lying on the ground for a long time.
This is not ash.
It's snowing for like the whole episode.
That's not ash. For the whole episode?
It's not a fucking volcano that went off.
Yeah. No, I don't. This is definitely snow.
Some of it is probably ash because she burnt down everything. But
well, yeah, but it's got to be
the stuff that's landing. Also, didn't Drogon hate snow? Why is he lying?
I thought so too, right?
I don't get it.
He's just been chilling out underneath just for long enough for the snow to completely cover him.
It's Snash. Yeah, we'll settle on that.
Yeah.
Plus, it's just the symbolism of winter coming and finally ending, and Jon Snow being the one to kill her. He's called Jon Snow, not Jon.
But he isn't, though. He's Aegon.
No, he's not, because it had no fucking purpose.
That's true. They can just retcon him into anything, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, Game of Thrones, everybody.
Game of Thrones. If you want to watch it, I still highly suggest it, because the first 4 seasons, even 5 and 6 are fine.
I like 1 through 5, I really like. And then it starts to... 6 is still good. 7 is okay, but it has a lot of dumb moments.
Yeah.
And then 8 is just a tragedy. Hey, Ethan was up. Whole 8th season was so damn frustrating. Yep. Yeah. I would still recommend watching the show, but I would also say that, know this ahead of time. Know that it doesn't have a satisfying ending.
Know that a lot of the plot points that are being built up and very purposely being spoken about in very high regard end up having no purpose.
Yeah. Just don't care too much if you're going to watch it. And also, that was something that I saw most of the actors saying regarding the last season was when people ask them, are people like, what's the fan reaction going to be? Are people going to like it? Are people going to be happy? Blah blah blah. And the general consensus seemed to have been, it's not going to be a happy ending, but it's going to be satisfying.
Like, yeah, bittersweet was what they kept saying.
Like, no, it wasn't satisfying at all.
It was like you shit in my mouth and told me it was creme brulee.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like.
And then said, fuck you for not liking my creme brulee shit.
I made that myself. I made this for you. I made this for you. It was hot Kool-Aid. Game of Thrones season 8 is hot Kool-Aid. That was specific. Oh, he's speaking from experience, yeah.
It was satisfying for me. I mean, that's fine. If you enjoyed it, I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't.
I wish I enjoyed it. Obviously, I want to like it, but because I enjoy the rest of the show so much, but I just can't find the good in it.
People were saying that it's almost like you're playing a game that has multiple endings, but you picked all the wrong options and just got the really plain ending, and there's a bunch of more information hidden around that you have to go back and do.
Like it's neither of the extremes. It's just like, oh, I guess it's over now.
Yeah. She's my queen.
She's my queen. I love her.
I don't feel like their love is warranted.
No,
I don't think that's earned at
all.
all. They go from like having boat sex to then suddenly being like, yeah, we love each other.
To being more devoted than Jaime and Cersei. Like, it's the most forced love plot ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time Jon says, I love you to her, it just doesn't feel like he means it. It doesn't feel earnest.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Ygritte was way better
Yeah.
in terms of actually believability, but this was just messy.
And it also just works because you don't even really need to lay that much them because she's a contrast to him. So obviously they like stuff about each other because there's stuff in each other that either of the other doesn't have.
Yeah.
Like she's free and he wants to be free and carefree.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she also admires his loyalty and things like that. So it works a lot better that well, maybe it also helps that they probably had a lot of off-screen chemistry considering they got married later.
Fair enough.
But
there weren't any reasons for Jon and Dany to like each other other than
they were family.
I guess so.
Hey, auntie.
I mean, it's borderlining on the, well, they're both hot, so they're gonna fall in love. That kind of trope from movies.
Yeah. I'm sad that they didn't react to the fact that they were related more.
Right? No one seemed to really react to that much. Other than
just Tyrion and Varys.
Yeah. The only fallout from that is that Jon doesn't really like kissing her that much anymore, and that's about it.
Yeah, but that's more got to do with his sword is in the way.
His sword?
His honor.
And also she did murder a lot of children.
She
Which
kinda
could
did,
be
didn't she?
it could be a turnoff for some people.
And I don't like that everyone's showing scenes of her being like, I don't want to be queen of the ashes, and then people are like, so that was a lie. It's like, well, that's the foreshadowing.
Yeah, and I think that's
It's like
also a lie that she's telling herself.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to acknowledge this side of her.
Yeah. So I feel like that stuff is fine.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just the immediacy of it. Going from wanting to protect everyone innocent at all costs to burning everyone who's innocent and not going after Cersei. That's the problem.
You know what season 8 is?
What is it?
Season 8 is that everybody who wrote the show previously died, and then somebody on Tumblr wrote a fan fiction about what the ending was going to be.
Kind of, yeah.
Because there's so many moments in this where it's like, oh, that's so fan servicey.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even the thought of him calling her Dany, it's like
Yeah.
that's one of my least favorite tropes in stuff is when somebody suddenly has a nickname for another character. Because it's like, we're trying to show how close these characters are to
Yeah.
each other. So it's like,
They're
how
familiar.
yeah, I always roll my eyes in How to Train Your Dragon. Let's do it, bud.
Yeah.
It's like every 2 seconds something's bud, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
get it. You're close to your
Do you
fucking
get
dragon.
it? They like each other's company. Do you understand?
It's like, Dany. It's like, no one's called me that in years. It's like my brother was the last one to call me that. It's like, nephew's calling you that now.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels forced. It feels like we need to get them to be at a point where they love each other, so we need to start getting like very friendly with each other very quickly.
Did you
It's like they held up 2 dolls and were like, now kiss each other, do it.
I also find it funny that lately there's been a lot of George R.R. Martin has gone on interviews and said that he hates fan fiction and he doesn't like it when people take other people's characters and write their own things with it. I wonder if that's a jab at the show.
Oh, maybe.
Because he's also said lately that he doesn't watch Game of Thrones. He doesn't have time to watch Game of Thrones. Meanwhile, he's watching and tweeting about this other medieval show that's on. I forget what it's called, but he's a big fan of some other medieval show. So he has time to watch that, but he doesn't watch Game of
Vikings?
Thrones anymore. No, it's some other king. It's
Kingdom?
a new one.
No.
It's a new one that I haven't heard of myself.
Kingdoms, The Last Kingdom?
Maybe? I've no idea. You could probably say the name and I wouldn't recognize it. Outlaw
Yeah.
King? Maybe.
I want D&D to come back at some point. Dan and Dave to come back at some point and just be like, so it turns out that Jon was gay all along.
And he had an intense sexual relationship with Tyrion. How did you feel about this scene of Brienne filling out Jaime's deeds in the book of the Book of Nights.
I really like that she's the one who did it.
Yeah.
But I feel like at this point, it's completely unwarranted because he completely just fucked her over.
Yeah. Yeah.
He led her on for so long, came into her room, forced himself, basically.
Yeah. Took her virginity and then bolted.
I mean, he didn't force himself on her, but he very heavily initiated the thing, and then she consented to it, of course.
Yeah.
But it was just like, it was very heavy-handed. I was like, finally, you guys are getting together. Finally, you're the one who's going to change his ways.
Yeah.
And he's going to go back. But then...
Yeah, up until that part, Jaime was one of my favorite characters because I found his redemption arc the most interesting. Yeah. And it was so nice to see that he finally, when he left Cersei, it was so nice to see him finally like let go of that part of him.
Yeah, cut the tether.
Yeah. And then he leads Brienne on, he knights her, and then they have sex. And maybe she was just that bad that he couldn't stand it. And he had to go back to his sister.
He got insecure because he couldn't be with someone who's not related to him and who is taller.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he couldn't get it up because he has a sister fetish. And he was so embarrassed.
Maybe he has a golden penis.
Oh, wouldn't that help though?
Maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like that she was the one to do it, but I don't like that he just left her like that and then went off to die for no reason, hugging Cersei.
Yeah. Because people were also saying, like, there's no way he just did a 180 and went back to be with her. It's like, he's just saying that, and then the next episode it'll saying that he's actually there to kill her.
Yeah.
Because he finally found love outside of his sister and realizes that it can be much more.
That would have been fine. That would have been great. But nope.
And then he dies trying to do that against Euron or something.
Sure. And then that would have made a lot more sense for Brienne to fill in this book then.
Yeah, exactly. Because at least then it's vindicated. But there was also that moment where Tyrion came up to the gates and looked up at Cersei and it's like, do it for your kid. But Euron never calls the fact that, it's like, wait, how does he know?
That's true.
That you're pregnant.
Yeah.
You just told me that you're pregnant and you said it's mine. How does your brother know and you haven't seen him in a long time?
Yeah, didn't I just make you pregnant? Wait a minute. What's going on here?
So the timeline doesn't match up, but he's still like, I'm going to fight for you.
Yeah.
I'm here to fuck the queen.
It's so weird. I don't like his actor, or his acting, I should say.
Well, his actor also showed remorse for the character because he read the books, and Euron's super cool in the books because he's like a supernatural demigod kind of guy. Yeah. He's just, because he appears out of nowhere still, but because he's kind of supernatural at the same time, it's like, okay, that's fine. But it's kind of like they gave him all the supernatural aspect, but try to make it realistic. For some reason, they just gave him all the same stuff, but didn't explain why he has it. Yeah,
I've seen so many videos comparing Euron in the show to Euron in the book. I haven't actually watched them because, I haven't read the books and I don't want to spoil too much for myself if I am going to read them. But apparently that seems to be one of the biggest, in terms of character portrayals, it seems to be one of the biggest misrepresentations.
Yeah.
Where he's like way different from the way him and Tyrion seem to be way different in the book.
Yeah.
Apparently Tyrion, the whole arc of Tyrion's character from after he kills Shay and his dad to the ending isn't in the books. Like he's in the books, he's still in that vindictive kind of spiteful mode.
Oh.
So that was all just made up for the show as well.
Shocking.
Yeah. I know, right?
Yeah. So there's still only as far as Jon dying in the books.
Yeah. Oh, there. Perfect. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's still a good show, but such a shame that...
It's that Mass Effect 3 feeling.
Yeah.
When Mass Effect 3 came out and the ending was all over the place. They changed the endings after that, not long after that, but everyone who played it first got the shitty ending.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now I don't even want to play the first two anymore because you just fucked it all up. And now it's like going back, because I've been watching Game of Thrones alongside the last season, the new one.
Yeah.
And I've been going back and watching, I got up as far as season 4 again. And then Evelyn and I watched 5, 6, and 7 together because she hadn't seen them.
Yeah.
So I've been watching all of them and it was just so sad. I'm like, you're talking about all this stuff that's going nowhere. All of these characters and all of this plot point is just ends up at this point that I already know has happened now. And it's so disappointing.
Yeah. Same with what I mentioned to you. Where I don't know if Ethan, if you're still around in chat, but Ethan was mentioning that no one had plot armor. And that was before he had watched past season 6. It's like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Just you wait. It's coming.
And then one episode has nothing but plot armor.
Ugh, yeah.
So many scenes where people were surrounded by whites.
Yeah.
And about to die, and then it cuts back and suddenly they're all fine.
That shot in The Long Night where the Night King raises the dead and Jon is literally alone surrounded in a swarm of hundreds of zombies. They cut away and then they cut back and he's just fighting a couple of them with his back free.
A couple of hundred of them
just up ahead. What happened then? What happened there?
That's how he talked. Yeah. It just cuts back and he's fine.
Yeah.
He's such a good fighter.
I guess so. He's just that awesome.
Fucking Sam needed to die.
Huh?
I love Sam, but Jesus Christ, did his character just not matter at all in the last season?
Yeah. Just sitting in a pile of dead bodies crying.
Yeah. So sad.
Wait, how does... That's... Oh, no. Okay, never mind.
What?
No, I was just confused about logistics in my screenshot. I was like, how does the arm go that way? But that was Cersei's face, not Jaime. I mean, they are twins. Huh.
Oh, yeah, they're twins.
Yeah, they are.
Not just brother and sister.
Yeah.
You know, just a good... Oh, yeah, because people keep saying twincest. Correct.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on in this show. Hey, George, do you want to talk about something? How do you...
All in all,
the
cinematography is great. The music is fucking phenomenal. The acting is some of the best on TV.
Yeah.
Everything around the writing is good, but it just shows that good actors can't save bad writing.
Oh yeah, and up until I'm gonna say up until season 5, it is my favorite show ever on TV.
Yeah.
In terms of like, I don't have that big of a problem with actors sometimes being not the best in terms of acting. Maybe it's because English isn't my first language, so it's less noticeable for me to pick up on when people aren't like 100% convincing. But for me, it's perfect up until season 5, and then not so much. But
yeah,
definitely the best made show on TV in terms of if you factor in everything, production quality and settings and music and acting and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it only really faltered in the last like season and a half.
Yeah.
Season 7 looks worse now because of how that was the start of everything speeding up and nothing really making sense.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say at the time it felt like that, but it also felt like, okay, there's one getting to a point and we'll get all of that good shit anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was going to say that if season 8 was amazing, then season 7 had felt better in hindsight, because it was like, okay, it's not the strongest season, but it gets the characters to where they need to be for the amazing ending to happen.
Yeah.
But now that season 8 is an absolute travesty, then it just makes season 7 look worse because it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
But I have ordered the books. I have all of the first 5 books coming in hopefully this week. I'm going to start reading them. Hopefully they're better.
Yeah.
But then again, where the problem starts is where the books end. So I'm not going to get a satisfying conclusion anyway. I really hope he finishes the books, man.
Yeah, I have all of them sitting in my living room. I
Yeah.
got them right before this season started. I'm like, okay, I'll read these after the end.
Yeah. I
Um,
kind of want him to just be like sitting on the last two books, just like finished, and he didn't want to release them until the show is over. I just
Well,
kind of want that to be true.
that was the rumor
I know. I've
that
I've
Ian
seen that
McElhinney
around. Yeah.
said that he heard a rumor. It's like poor Ian. He wanted that to be true. He just heard that from some fan or something probably, and he likes the book so much that
Yeah.
the guy who plays Sir Barristan, by the way,
Yeah.
he said that George had finished both books, but he's waiting for the show to end because he had a deal with them to not usurp them, basically.
Yeah.
And then George came out and was like, no, they're not done. I haven't even started writing the last book. I'm not
Yeah.
writing the last book until the second last one is done. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you just shot it down.
He has said the most recent thing I've heard is that the second to last book is going well
Yeah.
in terms of writing it, but he has also said that it's not coming out this year, as far as I'm aware.
I mean, I don't think anyone expected it. God, he's been writing them since 1996.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's been writing the last book for 8 years. Like, during all of the show's existence, he hasn't put out a new book.
Because I do feel bad that people are like, there's so many people who are like, oh, you're so fat and old now and you're going to die before you finish it. Hurry up.
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's kind of sad and mean.
Yeah, it's kind of rude. It's pretty rude to say that, especially straight to his face, even if you believe that.
Yeah. It's not kind of sad. It's very sad.
It
but
is, yeah. Oh, yeah.
at the same time, it's like, that's a long... what was the... It's 2005. It was 96, 99, 2000. So he
Yeah.
released 3 books within 4 years. Then it was 5 years. Then it was 6 years.
Yeah.
And now it's 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, he's 70 years old now. And if, let's say that his second to last book is going well and he finishes it next year, then he's 71. And he could spend the next 20 years writing one last book and still be alive to finish it. Like, it's not like
Yeah.
he's going to die any second. And I feel like it's pretty rude because I've seen that a lot of I've seen people even hoping for him to die before he finishes the books because they don't think that he's going to be able to make up a good ending.
That's fucking horrible.
I know, right? Like, oh, I hope he never finishes them because he's not going to live up to the expectations anyway. It's better if it's left unfinished. It's like, man, that's just
I mean,
so
he's
rude.
writing fucking massive books. Like,
Yeah.
here it says that the first book, they keep increasing. Oh no, one of them decreases in size, but it's 694 pages is
Yeah.
the smallest.
Yeah.
1,056 pages is the last one with 414,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So
like
he's writing like big shit and he has a lot to put into it. It takes a lot of time.
yeah, and obviously if it were easy, then the show wouldn't have ended up this way. Obviously, of course it's hard to wrap up a story this huge with that many plot lines and characters and motivations. And I think of course he's struggling. Of course he's got writer's block. Of course
And now the
it's
pressure's on
hard.
to do it even more.
Yeah.
So he needs to get it right.
Yeah. But I just like all the best to him, man. Do the best work you can do. And I hope we get to see it. Of course I want it as soon as possible because I want to read all the books, but take the time, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a lot of like he's still writing that next book and he still has a whole other one that's 1,000 pages after that to wrap up the story. So
Yeah.
that's the hardest book to write.
Exactly. And he's also in interviews and stuff, he's also talking about how he's wanting to write another story, another book about before everything, and he wanted to write another side story. So like he's not planning on stopping anytime soon.
No.
Exactly. Betty White is still kicking at 90 plus. Nah, I'm looking forward to reading the books actually. It's gonna be interesting
Yeah.
to compare.
You get to see all the characters that were left out.
Yeah, that too. Lady Stoneheart, I'm interested in
Yeah.
because she keeps coming up a lot.
Yeah, I've read like synopsises of the books and characters, and Lady Stoneheart sounds awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be fun. Well, I think that's about it.
Does that
is
conclude
Game
our
of
wrap
Thrones.
session?
Yeah. Unless you have anything else specific to add that you really
No.
want to talk about.
I think we shit on it enough.
Yeah. It is it sounds like a very negative outlook, but it's because we like it so much that
Yeah, we wouldn't even do this stream.
Of course not.
It's like, how many other things do we watch that we really didn't like that we just don't talk about?
Yeah. I haven't done a stream or video like this on anything. Like what would be the point if you don't love it to be this passionate about it?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we should do one on 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, we'll have our book club.
Yeah.
Let's just go away and watch all of Lost, and then we'll come back and talk about how disappointing that last season was.
Oh yeah, maybe.
And then Dexter, because apparently that has a horrible last season.
Oh yeah. Did you ever watch Dexter?
No.
I did, but I got bored of it, so I never had to realize how horrible the ending was. I know what the ending was, but yeah. Hey,
At least Breaking Bad fucking nailed it. So
that is true. Breaking Bad, man, everyone watched Breaking Bad. It's great.
Breaking Bad is, outside of Game of Thrones, is probably the best television there is. It's a lot. Obviously, it doesn't have the same scale, but it's the best writing in a TV show.
Exactly.
I think.
In terms of setup and payoff, it's excellent.
Yeah.
Brilliantly done.
And characters at the end feel like they're exactly where they should have been.
Yeah. All of the character motivations for characters up until the very last episodes all hold true.
Yeah. And Bryan Cranston is great, and he's my dad.
He is great. Bryan Cranston. Why weren't you in Game of Thrones? Nah, stay away, man.
I want him to be Drogon. I want Daenerys to come riding in on Bryan Cranston. He's just acting
sitting
like
on his
Hal
back.
from Malcolm in the Middle.
It's just like a dad carrying a kid on the back.
Here you are, sweetie. Here's the throne. Do you have your juice? Thanks, Dad.
You're getting a little bit
Thanks,
cranky. Do you want your juice box? Don't go burn down a city now.
Yeah, someone should have just thrown a Snickers into Daenerys' mouth.
Yeah, right.
Should have been fine.
Oh man, I've been playing the Game of Thrones soundtrack, and it's now playing the tower where you find out that Jon is Aegon.
Ah, that's a good one. I don't know what the fuck my one is on. Coronation from season 6.
No, the tower, the bonus track. Sorry, I just raised the volume a lot so we couldn't hear you for a second.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the one that's on my end.
Oh.
You idiot.
Sorry, Jesus. I'm deaf now. Good. Oh no! That was the last of the music. Well,
I think that's going to do it on my end.
Yeah, that's a wrap, everybody. Did you enjoy it? I hope you did, because we're not redoing it.
We redo your talk about season 8.
Oh, start all over. Okay, so
season 8 wrap-up session, Brotherhood. Now we never have to wait for another Game of Thrones episode ever again.
It's true. It's a little bit sad. I mean,
it is.
That is the bittersweet part. That never again will we have a Game of Thrones night.
Yeah. Now we have to wait for something else to come along.
That's true.
There's other decent shows. Started watching Chernobyl recently. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I watched the 2 first ones of that. It's pretty good. But
it doesn't captivate me the way some other things do.
No, and it wasn't enough for me to pay for HBO just to watch that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm sure that something's going to come along.
The spin-offs.
Spin-offs, for sure. And Rick and Morty, that's true. That's coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
Not as exciting as Game of Thrones was, but...
I need to catch up on my animes. I haven't watched One Punch Man or Mob Psycho 2 yet.
Oh, that's true. But I will say One Punch Man Season 2 actually got better, but I also forgot that I was legitimately forgot that I was watching One Punch Man because Saitama was just not in it for like a whole episode. And he showed up, I was like, oh yeah, this is One Punch Man. I was just wrapped up in the story.
Why is Saitama in this anime?
Yeah. It's not bad, but it's definitely different than season 1. I'd say watch it.
Yeah. All right, I've had to pee for the last half hour.
Me too.
So I think it's time to call it, and I still have to go record stuff.
Aw, snap. Go record stuff.
But this is fun. I'm glad we got to talk about it.
It was nice.
We were going to do this anyway, so it was nice to do it on.
Exactly. It was a nice venting session, I guess. Cathartic.
Yeah.
Okay. Say bye, everybody. Chat. Bye, to
bye,
Sean.
chat.
Bye.
Everybody say bye to Robin on this end.
Bye, everybody
Bye.
on this end. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Okay, he's finally left. We're alone, everybody. It's just us now. What do we do? Shit. Are we ready for fun? This is where the fun begins. Yeah. We're free! Yeah, that was fun. That was a nice one. I also see that we had a lot of extra viewers today. I'm gonna turn the notifications back on because now we're done yapping. But music, very intense. I hope you all enjoyed hanging out. It's nice. I mean, it's hard to interact with chat as well when you're having when you're having an active discussion. So I'm sorry for not acknowledging everything as much as usual, but it was interesting. You want to chat more? Yeah, I want to chat more. So let me see then. What did we actually?
Thanks, chat. Thanks for the review. We needed a good vent.
Thanks, Jules. It was nice to vent. It's hard not to come off too negative, and obviously it's at the end of the day it's a TV show. Like, it's not the end of the world, but it's nice to be able to discuss things and talk things over as well, because it is an important thing to both of us. Obviously, we're big fans of it. Let me. I can't check that. Let me do this. I'm gonna check where we ended up today. Oh snap, look at that! 20,112 followers! We got over 20,000 today! Aw, yeah. Isn't that fun? Aw, nice. Thanks, everybody. Hooray. Wait. Nice. 20K party. We did it. That was nice. That was fun. Goodbye!